105.1 TMC. Happy New Year sa kanatong tanan. How's everybody feeling? Today is the first working day of the year.
Or I know. Medyo katawanan jutay kay murag wa pag yoy tao siguro karon nga in the mood to get to work, right?
Okay kayo.
Oh, really? You think so? Saan napahuay nag-chill-chill lang ka diya?
Okay
kayo
kayo.
or gasugod na kada kayod? Musta na mo diya? Huwag ka man nabuthi ka. Ipa ko na inyo ang mga todlo. 1, 2, 3. Kabot og na po.
Sana all.
Hopefully you have all of your fingers. And tanawa ko na inyong dughan ko no. Naabay heartbeat? Bariya ba na? Buhi pa ka? So, pangutana ni unsa imong buhaton sa imuhang kinabuhi karong bag-ong tuig nga nakaabot man kag 2025. So mag-unsa na lang ka? Mag-unsa man ka? Ha? You're listening to 105.1 TMC. Atong ipon na pod, dili na mga adlaw padung sa bagong tuig, mga adlaw padung sa sinulog. Hapit na gyud, gamay na lang sa ikuwang. Of course, the sinulog always falls on the third Sunday of the month of January. So ipon mo ang atuang sinulog kay sa Pizza 19 sa January 2025. Karong tuig asad si Sita, ang ato ang amiga nga si Karen Sita, nag-release siya og iyang kinabag-uhan nga album entitled Sita. Usan ini sa mga kanta sa iyang bag-ong album which she released and we played all day yesterday, New Year's, is this next song because we promise you new music, more new Cebu music.
Your Cebu mornings just got more real. Real local talk.
You're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice. Right across me is Justine Nardios.
Real local music.
March 16, 15, 121.
Real close to home. Top of the Morning with Jiggy and Justine. Monday to Friday, 8 in the morning to 12. Top of the Morning.
Moro ni ba? Kada lang.
See the best of
Feeling stressed? In need of a staycation? Take a break and visit Crown Regency Hotel and Towers. Located on Osmeña Boulevard, Cebu City. We have over 389 newly renovated rooms, function rooms, Washang Chinese cuisine, Prana Medispa, Power Gym, and many more amenities for everyone to enjoy. For more information, visit our website at www.crownregency.com or call us at 0947 283-4026.
Regency, Regency. If food is your aim, then Wangshanlo Chinese cuisine is indeed at the top of the game. New and improved authentic Chinese menu spearheaded by our Cantonese chef. We are open for dine-in and take-out, also accepting events. Temporarily located at 2nd floor Cafe Glow Tower 1, Crown Regency Hotel and Towers. For inquiries, contact 0947-283-4026 or 032-418-8888.
Pre, paminaw sa tambag amigo lang ha. Magsigi yung trabaho, magsigi po ng ligaw, mauna ang moto na ako sa una. Pero katugayan, kapoy di ay. Sa tunga sa tanang kakapoy, inom, kaunog lami, apil na ang oily o fatty foods, kinahanglan gihapon, pantayan ang atong panglawas. Kailangan o gusto makontrol, kauban na ako ang Liverade sa Liverade supplement na labing maayo sa gusto nga pagkaon o ehersisyo. Cheers sa lagang maayong panahon sa dapat sa Liverade. Importante ka pahinog na mga Liverade, di kita balo, ili ang nagamit tabal sa bisan o sa matang sa sakit. Ang maayong ilimnon o maayong pagkaon,
Sir.
epekto ng kombinasyon.
Mag-load ka, sir, ba?
Para sa
Pakita paagi sa nga ma-organize bisa ba? Ma-organize bitaw kana bitong dili sa mga taon bitaw kung dili kay ka ba bitaw dili kay ga lingkod for example, kay lingkod. Ang set sa pangitaan sa folder ba? Mo folder di ba? For example, kanang kasi tayo mo siya folder. Pagkita ang libo imong butang new folder mo na may butang, di ba?
Oh, kanang yung folder nga.
Butang iguan.
Kaya yung file name niya?
Oo.
Folder name.
Dili, pati folder name ba? Para harap daw kung mag-clean up na ba? Problema na ito folder nila. Mga libog tag. Sa isura ng folder na, di ba? Butang natin, kanisita ng folder. Sila kanisita ng folder yun. Ano yun?
Ang tugapan. Ako itong himuan gapan yun, himuan ko ang resita.
Muna siya ng nasod. Muna yung nasod. Muna wala.
Oh, ano na
Ako,
so?
ang tari folder na. Nakata ng folder, di ba?
Oh, naato folder.
Poli. Akong ba mga kanisita, okay, para usay, di ba may kanang isang pangitaon kung walay kuan, walay kaning
Ang artist name.
oo, di ba?
Naghan pa diya ang kuha na anong artist na.
Bugay sa nat. Kanisita to sway. Kaning kanisita sa YouTube explore. Atong swayan mo, kuan dali mo. Sing pa ning yawa. Anaw. Ito waso. Murag kuan siguro ba? Ay, wala siguro. Insomnia. One 105.1 TMC ang pinakasubuanon nga radio station sa
tibuok kalibutan. 105.1 TMC. Don't forget ang atong text number 0999-887-6070. You can join us on our YouTube channel at Tops Media Center and join the conversation from our friends, not just all over Cebu, all over the Philippines, but all over the world. Let's have a conversation about today, ang pinakauna nga adlaw sa trabaho. Murag apiki kaysa ang first day of the working week, first day of the working day of the year. Murag apiki kayo nga murag Thursday ba ron? Okay ba ang adlaw? You're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice. I'll give you fair warning.
105.1 TMC, Morizet.
And Ferdinand Aragon ang paghuwat. Ang atong paghuwat sa bagong tuig na ania na gyud. So mangita na putag laing huwaton. Kaning kuang kita mangita gitag wala pa. Wala pa nabot, wala pa nato. Ani gining tao, ani gining I love to call it the human condition. So nabot na atong gipahuwat, ang gipanghuwat nga bagong tuig, ang atong sunod nga pabuto na pod ang sinulog, which is about 17 days to go from today. And it's a very significant sinulog because nibalik na ta sa ato ang original nga lokasyon sa Cebu City Sports Complex, Cebu City Sports Center, I should say. So that's going to be very exciting indeed. Sinulog back to its roots, back to its original venue. Pit Senyor sa kanatong tanan from 105.1 TMC.
Pit Senyor.
Okay, ang schedule of activities for the Señor Santo Niño festivities. Atong opening salvo, January 9. Novena masses begin on January 9 until the 18th. Ang traslaciones magsugod 17 sa January nganto sa 18. January 17 to 18. Ang Visperas, the fluvial parade, a reenactment, solemn foot procession, and traditional sinulog will be on January 18. And the feast day will be on January 19. Ang Adlaw sa Hubo will be on January 24. That's the major event happening during the Sinulog festivities.
Your Cebu mornings just got more real. Real local talk.
You're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is
Ziggy Juice. Right across me is Justin Nardios.
Music. Real close to home. Top of the morning with JB and Justine. 9 to 5, 8 in the morning. Top only on 105 TMC, the best of us.
Ridgewoods Colleges Incorporated, Cabrera Street, Pasag San Nicolas, Cebu City. Gusto ka bang mag-nursing o nurse or nursing graduate na gusto mo apply locally o abroad? Or nangita ka magpinakabarato o patog nursing school na aprobado sa CHED sa Cebu? Mayroon tayo sa Bachelor of Science in Nursing sa Ridgewoods Colleges Incorporated, College of Nursing. Watag silang free promo rate sa first 100 ka magpahitro sa nursing. Tawag na yon sa 0956-926-4112 or 0968-861-9933 o pagitalan si Dr. Rizalin or Doc Monique o tawag sa 032-383-8241 or 0961-146-7836. Wala na po tayo website rizwoodscaberos@gmail.com o sa atong Facebook page Ridgewoods Colleges Incorporated. Ridgewoods Colleges Incorporated, College of Nursing, a school of conscience, love, and compassion.
Ito ang takna karon alas 9 eksakta mundo.
Kung ang sakit sa lutahan, kanunay, kapusa, kapalasanon, di mailan ka.
Palasanon!
May Facebook joint deterioration na sagaran kung magkaedad na ka. Kilahang lagi
Ang
ni
signal, eh. Iwan ang signal.
ang mga ulit. May under-nature type 2 collagen at metal sulfonyl methane na makatapat sa
Sabi ko, doon nilang pasakan.
66 niya.
sa
Karon,
lutahan, make your
63 naman ta.
Kung inuman ang
Receive yun po,
Andrasine
receive na to.
adlaw-adlaw.
Increase na gamay.
Papalit ang
Anong
Andrasine
isa ka man?
ng putika sa nasod. Importante ka pa
Hindi,
yung
hindi ba
Andrasine
gamay pag
sa
naman
napapalugsi
pag-aso,
ang
ang
kaibigan sa pagtaman sa kisang batang sasakit.
Study sa
Ato ang takna karon 9:01 mayong bungkag sa karatong tanan Top of the Morning.
That's what you're listening to mo ang pangalan sa itong programa, Top of the Morning with your host, Jiggy Juice and Justin Narvios. Don't forget, you're invited to join us at atong Tops Media Center YouTube channel. It's up and running. Okay, you can join us in the chats and talk to us, talk to our friends from all over the world. Maghisgot-hisgot taog mga butang about Cebu City and the Cebu Island. Of course, January 2, 2025. That's right. Dili palang bag-o naghisgot ta og new millennium kinumdum mo ato. Now we were going to party like it's 1999 and then finally it became year 2000. Remember the Y2K bug? And it's hard to imagine katong atong celebration sa new millennium ang bag-o nga century. Saan Bisaya ng century? Wala, walkabout Bisaya ng century Melchor. Mga tanata. Kamu diha, mga tigpaminaw na ako. Unsa may Bisaya aning century. Anyway, bago lang kitang celebrate sa new century karon ang new millennium 25 anyos na. That's right, a quarter of a century old na ang new millennium. Welcome to 2025. Amot lang, napakatay mabuhat aning lain gawa sa paghimo og mga New Year's resolutions. Also sa pagkayod lang yun. This is a brand new song. I'm very proud of this next song from
Troy Digamo of 40 the band together with Mel Libre. From a group called Sunog. This one's called Kayod Lang in 2025 on 105.1 TMC.
kalibutan. Padayon lang kayo. Ang pasano ngayon ang magtaso. Daghang tentasyon. Ayaw pa nanginginig. Kay masaag ka. Anak, hindi mo ang laon. Anak, hindi mo ang kaunahon. Kayo lang. Tutugi ang iyong sa kinabuhi. Sasama sa sukilano. Tunay kalipay. Luna sa pagmamahal. Iwan mo naman kayo.
Oh, inspection lang. .105.1 Sunog. That's the name of the band.
Ang kanta kay gitawag nila og Kayud Lang featuring Troy Digamo of 40 the band. That I think is his first ever song since 30, 40 years ago. Man, I am happy that you finally made a new song, but I hope you won't stop making new songs, Troy. Maayong bungkag sa atong mga kaigsunan nga tikaw-tikaw na sa ato ang YouTube channel at Tops Media Center. To Herbert Abiliana Tasporte, top of the morning to you too. Dakang salamat sa inyo ang pagpaminaw. Don't forget 0999-887-6070 ang atong text number. That's 0999-887-6070. Lingaw kay ko gahapon nga actually it was the other day and of course yesterday pag Tusi. Grabe kayo kanindot ri ang view sa fireworks tang nindutag yun. I think this is really the best seats in the house here on top of the world from 2,000 feet closer to heaven here at Tops. Tanan nga mga pabuto. Nakita nato diri. Napote atong kaugalingon nga pabuto. By the way, shout out to Brian Lim and our friends from Pyro Works. Dakang salamat. Of course, we'd also like to thank all those who made the event possible. Ang ato ang mga kaigsuunan nga nangari diri sa pagsugod sa ato ang grand celebration, medyo nakulang gamay og pagkaon kay wa mi expect nga inato kadaghana ang mga diri sa event natong ni atong adlaw. But eventually, of course, we were able to make bawi. It was unlimited, free-flowing red wine, which was very high-quality red wine. That was Unli. And, of course, all of the tenants, all of the brands here at Tops pitched in to make the food even more festive. Mura to pista, daghang kay sobra. Gauros-uros ang mga pizza, mga gikan sa Queen's Pizza. Nag-uros-uros, tipon og ang mga empanada gikan sa quick snack. Ugban pa partang lami agi natong sudan natong lawa during the grand celebration. So congratulations to all those who made the event possible. And of course all those who witnessed for the first time ever the Sky 360, the true 360-degree view of Cebu. Wow. Beautiful, right? Alegre kayo kay mga tao wala gud nang hawa sa ilahang pwesto sa Sky 360 kay giablihan man to pag alas 10:30 ni paghuman napa may usa ka oras ug tunga nga kuwang before mag alas 12 before mag fireworks sila tindog na sila dito for over an hour para lang yun dili sila mailugan silang pwesto. But I'm sure the wait was well worth it. The wait for 2025 was well worth it. Well, here we are now. I know
2024 was mid for most of us. Like I said, I couldn't find any good news in 2024. Pero I actually found one. Nakinamdom na ko diyan nga si Carlos Yulo won multiple gold medals in the Olympics, right? So I guess that's one of the few bright lights of 2024. And we finally opened the iconic new Tops. That's also one of the bright lights of 2024, of course. Kaning mga tao ba, kita, including myself, dili mong kita mag-undang o pag-anticipate, pagpangandoy, paghuwat, pagpaabot. Human naman ang bagong tuig, naabot naman. Naabot tayo bagong ipagpaabot, ang sinulog, right? Ana gining tao sa dili gud mahutdan o butang nga gipaabot. Dili gud mahimo nga malipay lang ta sa ato karon. Lisod sa? I guess that's what it is to be human, right? It's to always look forward to something which you don't have, something which is not in front of you. And I think that's actually a kind of I wouldn't say a flaw because it's a feature of the human conditions. Naam kita ng kinaiya nga mangita kita og wa nato, mangita kita og wala pa naabot. So paghuwat nato sa Pasko,
nagpaabot mo tag bagong tuig, sunod natong paabot na po kay New Year. Or I'm sorry, sinulog 2025, right? So I think on a personal note, I want to be able to declare this to the world, to you guys, our listeners. And I think one of my New Year's resolutions for 2025 is to be more present, is to be always living here and now. This is not to say nga walay mga plano. Nagi mga plano sa the next coming days, weeks, months, or even years, right? Nagitawag to long-term plans. But dili na mo i-prioritize. I think atong i-prioritize is just being present here and now. Because I always love to say, I always tell this to everyone that I meet, I think kanang bong stress good is the distance between where you are now and where you want to be in the future. So, magkalayo ng distansya sa imong karon gikan sa imong gipangandoy, imong gipaabot, mas daghan ka og stress. So, the closer you are to now, the closer you are to the present moment, the less stress you will have. And that's one of my deeply held beliefs nga kinanglan para malipay ka, para imuhang kasing-kasing puno og joy, just be present. Ingon mo ko sila nga true joy kuno. Ang tinudunay ko do nga kalipay uncaused kuno na siya. Wala kuno na siya stimuli, wala na siya rason. We're naturally full of joy. And the only way to achieve that state of joy is just to be present here and now, in this very moment. You know, I have headphones in my ears. I'm listening to my awful voice. I can hear my breath. And that's being present. And I think that's what I should try to do. And maybe I propose that you guys listening to us also try to do. You know, gahapon, pagkaon ako, because being present is not just in the workplace. Being present is not just, when you're doing yoga or whatnot. Pwede pa nin mo i-apply sa tanan aspects imong kinabuhi. One of the things that I tried it yesterday, was in eating. Kanang mukaon bitaw ka niya, kanang present ka. Nga imuhang gamiton imuhang tanan nga senses kay pila magta namti 5 ka senses, di ba? Una nimo madunggan kung magbukal na ang sabaw, for example, kadungog anong bukal-bukal sa sabaw, di ba? Unya panimaho ka sa baho sa sabaw, for example. Imong simhoton. Unya igabot sa imuhang ilong nga duol-duol na mo scoop ka og sabaw imong simhoton paduol-duol sa imong ilong niya paghuman imong butang sa imong baba. So what I'm trying to describe here is I'm trying to be present even when I eat, and I think that's one of the things that I hope, aspire to do in each moment of 2025, starting today. And also, I think I actually read this and heard this from one of my personal favorite thinkers, Sam Harris. Ingon siya nga, iya ko nung promise yung kagalingon ko no for 2025, which is kind of related to what I just said, being present. Iya ko nung buhaton ko no siyang kinabuhi ko no karong tuiga and all the days of his life, if possible, is to live like as if today is his last day. And which is beautiful too, right? To live every single day like it's your last day. So, kung nakay buhaton, hunanaan mo. Kung karon na lang kukutob, unsa man akong buhaton? And I think that's kind of also being present, right? Dili ka magpalabi kung hunahuna sa sunod. Imong hunahunaon ang karon. Kay kanang karon, ever evolving man sana siya. Maglihok man sa ng karon kay karon nako pero karon na po, di ba? So everything is actually now. Everything is a series of nows. And to be able to live life like today is your last day is also a kind of a beautiful way to live. That's also kind of part of what I'll try to do every day of 2025. How about you guys? Why don't you share to me whatever it is that you're thinking about today? And I promise not to waste money kay mangayo pa kong mami on 105.1 TMC, the best of us in 2025.
Don't waste your money kay mangayo pa kong mami. Don't waste your money kay mangayo pa kong mami. Don't waste your money kay mangayo pa kong mami niya. Ayaw sig pinamay kay wala pa man kay agi. Don't waste your money kay mangayo pa kong mami. Don't waste your money kay mangayo pa kong mami. Don't waste your money kay mangayo pa kong mami niya. Ayaw sig pinamay kay wala pa man kay agi. Gilahi na ning rebel di na ka makaapas. Nindot among bagi wala giniinitipas. You can call me Oli but I prefer the Gabi. I'm from Bulacan down in sa Pagita Street to Dash 8. Lugar sa mga walibog, pirmi lamig ang kubog. Yo, pirmi ming ang kubog. Cause we all are sinners and you're acting matando. Kauna ang hambog, luhod sa godiya. O kauna akong make the M-O-N-E-Y. Akin na po idiriturdan. Make the M-O-N-E-Y. Akin na po idiriturdan. Kanina po diri, gitripan na po ng beat. Imuag lunch, way ka smoke niya ka speed. Yung isa ka tigil, kay pinahinambin. Simple lang ang stilo, pero sakto na smain. Di kaninga po, gisakto ang target. Sa full yun sa mga nanghagit. Kantay para bang habulan niya ka feeling hain. Kanain yung utok, tarungan na gamit. Kalmadura diri, kung tahas inyong kagakit. Ako ra magmisila, bina ako kay mawakit. Balutaw ang tirada niya, hangad na yung sa langit. Balutaw ang tirada, gipilang mo kang mahangin. That's how I live life, ganahan ra ko killing. Beat smoking lungs, parte na sa koy ang gudong. Kamoy kaon na, pero wag man ko nagpabilin. Kinili ko magpabilin, bisan freestyle pa oriented. No, waste yung money kay mga yung akong mami. Sa mood na ugod yung munog, magbutoy na ang kami. Grabe ka ko, pero sa jeepney way pamitik. Grabe ka ko, ulap pa kay money, wag kay money. Gusto ka mo dato, ibiligyan na imong kinig. Kana sure po, di na ka mga yung ni mami. Gusto ka mo dato, ibiligyan na imong kinig. Kana sure po, di na magsakit imuhang tawid. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami niya. Ayaw si pinamay, kay wala pa mag-iagi. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami niya. Ayaw si pinamay, kay wala pa mag-iagi.
Wake up in the morning na yung text sa kung amigo, where you at? Tara up, gusto ka nga mo sa highway. Problema sa kong mga amigo, kami piling way kurang. Sige lang kong gapo, kung usa ka mga tunay. Hala sige hands up, bawal diri pabida. Puro may kontrabida, di man isalita. Puro real shit na po, may sili mga fake aggressa. Always mow my grass like a garden. Now the servants looking, and the put an end in your mind is on my mind. So I gotta grind with the hands at the top of the sign. No, we gotta know I don't fix my mama's cash. To abuse a hustle on my own, just to let you know that the pressure if I shake my hand, no problem, I always get your back like a bag of chicken, I'm good, tunay ka, we are good, tunay ka, we are good.
Sa street may mag-chill pre, dili ka pwede yung ikaw mag-inarte. Steady, na low-key, kauban akong mga homie. Always gagahi, but I'm sorry, dili pwede mo join mga peke. Ang clip kay pa heaven, feeling amazing. Good drinking mo blazing, ang always na drilling. Huwag ka mo kick in, ang gadyang gitake in. Dayon, kung chirpin og speed sa beat, nag-listen para ma-lesson ang burden sa life. Dapat imo nang drink ang empty nga life. Matipsig ka slide, then mag-worry ang sign. But dapat nga mo fight, kay mag-morning na night. Dili ko bright, but Bisaya o English kiray. Kunya gaway, but di pinamay. Tapay sa karsada, ang tirada, pero ayaw umugyan sa kay kaninga. Kanta makapunto ni sa imong pati. Ubra, pero kato kay joke bra. Kay kami na smoke pa niya, ikaw na joke na. And I just wanna live free and have fun tonight. And need a PTSO sign. Ang kinabuhi deliver me fine. Need a PTSO sign. Ang kinabuhi deliver me fine.
Yeah. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami. Grind everyday para full imo ang kami. Ay palabi sa gibati kung ma-broke din ifani. Kung ang porta kay babae, this bitch is my honey. Panikuton na kong kay dapat mapanikamutan. Wanay ang tiyang diskarte. Huwag at ni kauputan. Di mapungan katalaman. Uguwas na ang papel. Ay patas ka inis ulo. Ay pangita o bigay. Maong chill. Rolyo ang papel. We all got just to pay so get the paper bill. Earning with the rhymes. Speak beat akong gigil. Di maayag tambal, Bisaya akong kail. Money coming low, ang uban wakabalong. Ano bro, napaabot kag Pasko. Pop flow, get low, bisag yun sa pamaagi. Padayo lang sa hustle, huwag ka ni Maui Timani.
Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami niya. Ayaw si pinamay, kay wala pa man kay Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami. Don't wish your money kay mga yung bakang mami niya. Ayaw si pinamay, kay wala pa man kay
Coming to 2025, you are live. What are you going to do about it? 105.1 TMC, the best of us.
Kalibutan, ay klase-klase ng kinabuhi, ay malipayo sa pagbuyo, ay gusto ng pagbuhi, sa ilang kinabuhi, sa lahat gusto ng pagbuhi, ang padayo sa pag-abante, pangalapang pag-abante, ay plan mong sinubuhan bisyo. Kaya para wag na yung bisyo. Ingat ka na tanan na ay pagtrapuan na pangarang hindi lang asay bisyo. Sana ko dirata kang nanaot, bisang lisod ako kay naningamot. Kung di ka mo pala ganong, ingon man tayo, kanilang bayot. Gano'ng kahangin na sila, tao raman tabarihan nila. Nagkamo masakitan, kahit di mataman hindi ba? Nagtarong mata sa kaugalingon, nga nung tikman ninyo panumalingon. Nagkukay dagang barkada, nagkapaw na mo sa barkada, ako mahilingon. Pasensya kong bugoy panaksa, perminal lang madistrasya, pero nakikimportansya, tananong ta inyo makota, garanti ang tsansa. Sa taguhig pa na ay pag-asa, kaya ginuo, di na maasa. Di manin ninyo nga di na mo hatag o problema, basta di na to makaya. Abante na para, bukas susong kasakada, di kayo sa sala. Kung sa jeep di ka unungan, padayon ragyapon, di ra sa pagpara.
Matira gihapon ta, bisag lisod. Matumaman ka, di ka halabaro. Kay kaya rang tanan, basta kita manikamot. Agwan ka lang mo, abot ra ang panahon. Matira gihapon ta, bisag lisod. Matumaman ka, di ka halabaro. Kay kaya rang tanan, basta kita manikamot. Agwan ka lang mo, abot ra ang panahon.
Chico, Revillame, maong na ko, wag mo nang pili. Nagtarungan sa gudere, pero usahay di malikayan nga mahiwi. Inga na dyan na ang kinabuhi, usahay masayog na dere sa pagpili. Mura na naong ng battle, na ay madaog na asay dili. Dapat ito kung sunada, bisan way nada. Dapat dapat tiragyapon, di ka magdrama. Ikon mo rama o nara, maong tarana. Di na ko kaya masulti din nila, maong nasuwat na lang tinakanta. Kung tak matunggoy din nila, mama o papa. Kay di na makaya, wag kay benta sa inyo ang pagtanaw sa ako sa tao nga na ay panlantaw sa kinabuhi. Perming naguna-una anak, matagabi, maadlaw sa kasuyak ninyo hala pagtagpaw. Putong raman sa kuderas pagtanaw, hindi man ganing kasakay sa biyahis kinabuhi. Pwede raman sa paglakaw.
Matira gihapon ta, bisag lisod. Matumaman ka, di ka halabaro. Kay kaya rang tanan, basta kita manikamot. Agwan pa lang mo, abot ra ang panahon. Matira gihapon ta, bisag lisod. Matumaman ka, di ka halabaro. Kay kaya rang tanan, basta kita manikamot. Agwan pa lang mo, abot ra ang panahon.
Sa pag-eskwela sila way salig na kung kay permi daw ko na masalig sa inanahan. Inong raman, sa damuang, kriptiin natin kung sa mata mo na klase. E kung magsya taon-taon mo pase, rako debre bahala pagkubog basta kay masulod. Yan yung sa klase, unta masabtan ko ninyong hinaot. Di man ko nanin pero naning gamot. Ika-graduate, pili ako kundi ikaw maata kung mga ipasok. Sa panis ko ko'y maunay unang pagtanaw sa mga tao. Pero di sa gamaw kung ang pagkatao sa kinabuhi ni dagayang plano. Pura na ko walay klaro. Kay sige tupod sa baso, akong bisaan sa akong kaugalingon nga di ko mamatay huwag grado. Usahay kita apurado, maong may tawang akusado. Dapat ka magpabilit ang alikon, isang di ka ayon na masulado.
Matira gihapon ta, bisag lisod. Matumaman ka, di ka halabaro. Kay kaya rang tanan, basta kita manikamot. Agwan pa lang mo, abot ra ang panahon. Matira gihapon ta, bisag lisod. Matumaman ka, di ka halabaro. Kay kaya rang tanan, basta kita manikamot. Agwan pa lang mo, abot ra ang panahon. Matira gihapon ta, bisag lisod. Matumaman ka, di ka halabaro. Kay kaya rang tanan, basta kita manikamot. Agwan pa lang mo, abot ra ang panahon. Matira gihapon ta, bisag lisod. Matumaman ka, di ka halabaro. Kay kaya rang tanan, basta kita manikamot. Agwan pa lang mo, abot ra ang panahon.
105.1 Rage featuring Bob.
Kinabuhi. And I think that's really the original luck. Para nako ang pagkaswerte nato good is the beginning is just to have this thing called life. 105.1 TMC, the best of us.
It's furious. This is where the hungry come. There's no combination of words I can put on the back of a postcard. It's only like a single Finally, local music has found the home. 105.1 TMC, the best of us. Siko, hawa, kung ang sakit sa lutahan kanunay nga usa ka palasanon ni mailan ka na sa arthritis o joint deterioration kasagaran kung magkaedad na ka. Kilahanglan kini og kusog og paglahutay aron makaguli mahimo ka na ni Artrisin. May under nature type 2 collagen at methyl sulfonyl methane nga makatabang sa pagpanalipod sa iniusang kahimsog sa atong lutahan. Make the right move inuma ang Artrisin adlaw-adlaw. Mapalit ang Artrisin sa mga nagunang butika sa nasod. Importante ka pahinumdum ang Artrisin dili usa katambal o dili angay gamiton sa pagtambal sa bisan usang matang sa sakit.
わかめ、枝豆、唐揚げ、串カツ、天ぷら、とんか焼き、餃子、網焼き、かじ、ぶってじゅーおこそば、まぐろと焼きそば、お好み焼き、すき焼き、牛丼、ぶってじゅーたこ焼き、はやし、そばめし、豚丼、寿司、わらみ干し、冷やし飴、ぶってじゅー All the best dishes from Japan, all originally from Japan. Boteju.
Heading into 2025, you are alive. What are you going to do about it? 105.1 TMC.
Matay sa'yo and get the door. Right to the TV, apas na ho. Ay, building na obra ko. Nami building sa casa ko. Inamuad, relax, murag ba o. Hindi ko man sa work, sa pavements na magtago. Riding to the city, feeling like I'm on the top, yeah. I just wanna help, but I'm about to get on it, you know. You know that we running, and we everything to miss. Stepping to the west, and we gotta plug it in. We just gonna keep rolling and rolling. Life is fucked up, and keep going and going. I'm feeling so nice, so keep looking, I'm plugging up. In my own team, there's a thing, and we stay in our own lane. What a man said, we get the lead. We doing our own thing, living back with us at the beat. Much love sa mayroon, much love sa mayroon. Kung sabay sa patron, may address yung paano. Matay sa'yo and get the door. Right to the TV, apas na ho. I dream of building na obra ko.
105.1 TMC, Cookie 17B. Daghang kay mga cruising music karong tuig.
Apa lang bagong kanta tawag ni Ayog Palayo.
Your sacred warnings just got more real. Real local talk.
Top of the morning. I'm your host. My name is Ziggy Juice. Right across me is Justin Narcos.
Real local music. Real close to home. Top of the morning with Judy and Justine. Maybe you're welcome. Top of the morning. Only on 105.1 TMC, the best of us.
Bumilitaw na pero wag na ay kalagayan. Ika na ang umuha doon ay plema. Iso di magawas. Mag-Flemex 4S Syrup. Ihimo sa natural na hindi kinatunaw ang plema. Ginapungan ang umo. Maaki ang kahapsay sa ginhawa. Sing your heart out. Basta lang di Flemex. Mapalit ang Flemex 4S Syrup 60 ml o 120 ml sa mga nanguhika nationwide. Ditext ng 2Ls the generic name of Flemex 4 and the symptoms persist. Consult your doctor.
Kung ikaw si 50 anyos na pataas, sama na ko, taas ang risiko nga mapadang ng imong pananaw. Dakong agi sa pangadawan-daw nga ulo atong sama sa pagbasa, pagsulat, o pagmaniho. Ang optin dunay yugin nga makahatag ang tapang sa kahimsog sa mata, makipato kini sa epekto sa glaucoma, macular degeneration o katarata. Makita yun ang kahimsog, mapalit ang optin sa mga nagunang butika nationwide. Importante pahinungdong ang optin biling tambal o biling dapat gamitung tambal sa bisan kung sa nasakit samtang nagkaedad at imanaan pananaw pinaagi sa natural nga nutrisyon. Ito ang optin matagadlaw mapalit sa mga nagkunang butika nationwide.
The best of us.
Good morning, maayong bukas sa tanan. Siguro ay imong bagay na walang nagkainaligtan. Galing na may ato sa sampas na makabot. Ay salamat na tayo nagkaroon na agaw sa mota na malahata. At tuon isang asa kita hanggang pwede suluyan. Wala'y problema, puyo lang na namang lumata. Kaya ay pamangkiyak, tuyong tatan ng lugar sa subok. Nauba ng mga amigo, kanindot sa Cebu. Sundan na to ang biyahe manatod sa Simala. Sa araw mamainit, upalit na lamig ang uta. Tapos naman dyan mangambak sa kawasan. Mula sa sambuan o kinailan. Sa dagat na bananubit, sa alaw-alaw magpahigit. Sa uslo mag-swimming ka, uwan sa tutandik. Manputo magsupa, sa wonderful sa alegria. Daghan mandigay uwak, pasaron na agandara. Sa warili manginom, o presko na bug. Sa karkar makikit na o taungkok nga chicharon. Malingaw ka puro sa naga, sugton ng pasensya sa bigla. Wala ko sa imo makuway, kaya sugod pa sa totoo padayon pupunan sa lakyahan San Remigio sa isla sa bantayan kita mulaban. Mabalagan atong isutan kapit sa tawelan pagkabong daw pagkatinaw sa mga strain sa kuran sa kaunta ang bukid sa Palaman sa musay bisitaon na ang maanindog nga buwakan sa mga betapan mo sila niluan konsolasyon bisan asa sa suko pwede ka o bakasyon tanamang laata at tuon isang asa kakantag pwede suruyan wala'y problema kuyong lang tanamang lumata kaya may pamati ang pupunta ka ng lugar sa suko na uba ng mga amigo tinindot sa suko. Viva Señor Santo Niño, o kinihalang sa mga suwalo. May sa mga galing dugo, isan na sayang ang kagugo. Inalang kapag siguro,
Kita sa song siya. Ano ito? Ito, tunay ko. Ayun siya. Kaya mga tanan sa matay ubay.
Kinukuhan kami. Hanggang sa all, ganun, ay, apilo kinukuhan, apilo ng tanan nga kalagsita kanta.
Kada
Anong tanan ba?
kada oras na ito siya. Kada.
Gusto niya apil sa rotation ba? Stay tayo. Hey! How are you doing?
I haven't seen you since last year.
I know, right?
Finally, I can use that joke. I've been waiting to use it.
Good morning!
Good morning.
Nataraw ko na si Monta na sila namin siya tripod plus sa iPhone. 105.1 TMC maing bungkag sa atong mga kaigsunan nga naminaw nato sa Alcoy.
Wow.
Kimo ba asa ng Alcoy, Justin? Naka-idea asa ng Alcoy?
Correct me if I'm wrong. South.
I will definitely correct you if
Is
you're
it
wrong.
South?
Not sure. I also don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking you.
Yo, no.
Si Romel Trey.
Ang
Ang
ako
ako
ang
ang-
very, very good friend from Alcoy na minaw karong buntaga. Unya kaning naako na siya sa Alcoy, relax sa beach pagyod.
Wow, so listening to
What
us
a
at the same
way to
time.
start the year, right?
Yeah, grabe.
Relax,
Nature therapy.
right?
Yeah. Nature therapy, sea salt therapy.
Sea salt.
Yeah.
Ano mag
Kanang bitong, di ba the air is different man gyud by the sea?
Yeah, it's breezy.
Breezy.
And I have no scientific proof whatsoever, but akong feeling limpyo ang hangin sa may dagat.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, I
Because
think
kung
so
dagat man good, why auto kay or although na pambot, di ba na may pambot, di ba?
Yeah, the pambot.
Mga jet ski, di ba?
Yes. Pero mostly wala kay mga
Which still
pollutants sa
pollutes,
air,
diba?
supposedly.
Supposedly. Unya ang ato ang dagat of course, dili man na hugaw-hugawan sa matong mga kaigsuonan. Dili man na iditso ang ilahang
Basura.
CR sa
Oh no.
sa dagat.
The biggest toilet in the
I
world.
know, right?
Oh.
Bitaw kaning
Oh my goodness. Yeah, sometimes I also, if it's super breezy by the sea, I'd wanna just fall asleep. Like for me, mas ganahan ko nga, if there was no agenda for the entire day, I'd just stay under some shade and then matugra ko by the sea all day.
kana pang agenda ba? Nihisgot ang agenda. I think we should make
No agendas? Or more
we,
agendas?
we should make relaxing being
Ooh,
present
the number one agenda.
part of the agenda, di ba? Right, when you say when you have no agenda, karos amo gud na itabo gud nga way agenda. Hono na kun imong look back at your life, Justin. Maybe
There was a time.
there was maybe when you were like 1 day old, or maybe like because after that, like your agenda is to get fed.
Mommy, to survive.
Like after a while, like when you go out of the womb, your agenda is to eat, right?
Survive.
To get fed, right? So your agenda is to manipulate your mom,
To
right?
scream.
Right? Mo man na imong agenda, di ba?
Yeah.
So wala gid siguro panahon sa atong kinabuhi here in this planet nga what
Wala tay
agenda, di ba?
But it's a nice feeling, no? Wala
Nagitay.
kay schedule. There's nothing much to do except for sleep. Kanang bitang mumatara ka to eat
Yeah.
whenever you feel like it.
but kana siyang panahon na rare sa gina siya sa tao sa panahon o sa katao, di ba? Muraga kamay ra kayong panahon nga way what ay giplano karong for example karong adlaw. O naman mo, ari man ta diri. You know, it's not easy to come up here all the way 2,000 feet closer to heaven, di ba?
Yeah.
Lisod man kayo, di ba?
That's true.
So kanang adlaw nga wa tay agenda, ato siguro ng planuhon siguro sa. Or maybe not an entire day, maybe like just a moment.
Yeah, or whatever chance you
But-
can get to not be so distracted, you take it. So for example, I don't know how you do it, but like if my family and I are at the beach, kung time to swim na gani, like I won't touch my phone na until mahuman ako swim. So I'll probably I want to avoid everything. I want to avoid all the things that I usually do in daily life, like check my phone, check mga messages and all that. Kay para maka-enjoy gid ka ba? You'd be, so where you use present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, the ironic part about engineering free time, planning for no agenda is it becomes an agenda.
That's the agenda, to have no agenda.
Right?
The plan is to have no plan.
Yeah, and then it becomes a plan because
Okay.
you're planning not to have a plan.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
Because what ako kung the word that I think that the moment that we're trying to describe, I think it's a spontaneous moment, diba? Like something that is unstructured, unplanned, free time, not something that you plan for. Because I think when you plan for something, it becomes like this whole thing. Like I'm gonna plan that I'm not gonna do anything.
Funny. That's true.
Right?
Yeah, but for you, I don't know about you, but all my free time is still planned. That's
Yeah,
ironic bitaw, no?
exactly, right?
Your rest time is
Yeah,
planned
yeah,
gihapon. Like, okay, I'm a rest today.
So
and-
I'm gonna relax in 5 minutes.
Minutes.
Right? So
or I want to relax for
so
this
it
day only. Ana.
it becomes like a
Plan gapon.
plan and if you don't in 5 minutes, like in the middle of the 5 minutes, you get an important phone call, for example.
Then it disrupts the plan.
And then, for example, maslide ka, for example, right? You know,
Tay.
so what happens to that plan then becomes like a stressful moment, right?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't become relaxing because you're thinking so
Because-
hard about how you're gonna relax.
So
diba?
you already envisioned the moment 5 minutes from now that you're going to be relaxed. But as it turns out, in 2.5 minutes, you slipped and scraped your knee, for example, whatever, right?
Then you can't relax.
And then oh no, like I had this whole figured out, I've been planning for this relaxing moment for like days now, and here I am in the middle of my 5 minutes, a scrape on my knee.
Disrupt.
I was just thinking about it last night, but like if you plan to eat somewhere, right? Like you're already visualizing, like I'm gonna smell
Kanisa.
I'm gonna smell kimchi, I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna eat that, I'm gonna slurp noodles, and you envision that, and you know exactly what restaurant, kaning restaurant,
And what you want to order from
what
that
you want to
restaurant.
order. So you already have it in your head.
Yeah.
And then you know what happens?
What happens?
When you go to the frigging restaurant, there's no parking.
Oh, okay. That's number one.
Oh no!
So you spend like 20 minutes trying to look for parking.
You know what I mean? So you did not envision that in your
Yeah,
planning.
wala na apil.
Wala man nag-apil sa imong plano kay imong implano sa ordero nimo, asa ka mo lingkon, your favorite spot in the restaurant. What am I going to drink? Am I going to order this fruit juice or whatnot, right? Pag abot nimo sa lugar, wa bitanay parking.
Why parking?
Kanang ina nga plano ba kung grabe kay ko ka excited sa
It throws you off?
It really throws me off, man. Like, and like, murag, it ruins everything.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you know what my parents hate? And my lolo used to joke
Yeah.
nga, kanang mo ato kag restaurant and everything you ask them kay, ala, wala meron sir, wala me, we're out of stock or we don't have that. Mo na gud
That's
lolo, paniran na lang mo.
Exactly. That's what I tell them too.
You know what? One time, my grandpa was with my brothers at Chowking, and then everything he asked, kay didn't have halo-halo.
Yeah.
Tanan na lang he asked. I think he asked about like 5 different things.
So
sa menu.
this is the list of things you don't have.
You don't have. Namani, wala sir. Namani, wala sir.
Oh,
Then my
no.
grandpa turned to my brother and he said, I told you na manira lagi na sila. I told you they're closing.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's number 2. Aside from not finding parking, I hate that. Like when I arrive at restaurant and they don't have what I've been craving for all
Yeah.
day. So sometimes if I really want something, I'll call the restaurant ahead and then I'll make a reservation and I'll ask Daan, do you have this one tonight? Like, is it available sa
Yeah,
menu?
yeah.
Because if it's not, di ko maghasol-hasol
Exactly.
to go there.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never thought of. I've never actually done that.
What, like you call ahead?
Wadto ko restaurant, wadto ko sa kalugar niya, naa ba ni ako ang gi-expect?
Oh, I always call.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah, like there are some restaurants, for example, more like mga steak, mga
Yeah.
meat, and then
Yeah.
daghan mo, let's say
Oh.
you're like 10.
Oh.
So I'll call ahead daan to ask, can you accommodate pa 10? Basin mo, ano na sila nga, ala ma'am, last 2 na lang or
Okay,
last 5.
okay.
So it's gonna be so disappointing,
Yeah.
right? So,
That's a good idea.
yeah.
Because
That's a hack.
Nothing is more disappointing than being in your favorite restaurant and eating something else, right? Meaning to say
Not what you envision.
that's what that's dili na mao ang specialty sa restaurant ba. You know, for example, you eat in a place called, let's just say, the Crispy Pata restaurant, right?
Kana,
And then there's no Crispy Pata.
So
what
am I here for?
What am I doing here, right? right?
That's exactly my reaction. Okay, so number 1, no parking. Number 2 is what you order isn't there. What else? What else throws us off when we like one thing that you can't plan about relaxing?
Oh, bad
and then...
service too, man. Bad service.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number 3.
So, you know, people always ask me, about if you go to a restaurant, they ask you like, do you have any allergies? You know, is there anything that
A preference?
a preference?
Oh.
Yeah, and then I always say, allergic og dugay.
That's funny.
Mangatol akong kung
I'll say
dugay.
that.
Muulbo akong kaspa. Kung dugay, mo na siya.
That's nice. And then-
Allergic ko og dugay rabamis kanina.
Okay, yeah, me too. I hate that when dugay na kay kag
Sa nami
you know.
nami vaccine na sir.
Aba matindi!
Mas lay vaccine ko no sa allergic og
para
dugay.
sa dugay. Yeah, I hate that too.
It's called living in the Philippines for a long time.
Yeah, manad na lang ka. No, that's what I hate too when the food takes so long and
Yeah.
then busog na ka sa when you're eating all the appetizers and
Yeah.
everything else and then your actual main course takes dugay.
Actually, kanang dugay nga pagkaon, that's both a good thing and a bad thing. Dugay kung maglagot ka kung number 1 gutom na kay kastanan, di ba? Ana jud kag restaurant para kaning mukaon dayon, di ba? Which never happens is because they have to cook the food unless you go to a Jollibee, right?
Fast food.
So but kanang the waiting part, I like that part kung wala kay magigutom. You have time to talk ba? You know, you have a conversation with the table because for me, Manggod, I think eating this is just my personal preference. Eating to me really is a social event. So I need to change that also because I think ang problema ng kaon nga I always orient it with conversation is dili ko mindful sa akong kaon ba? Because I'm mindful of my conversation with the person.
Okay,
you know, so
instead of eating.
Instead of the eating part. So mahitabuan na I tend to overeat if there's a great conversation. Dili nam ko magunahuna.
Sige.
Gwapo kay pagkato na ko Amerika, gwapo kay sana blah blah blah. You know,
And then-
something for you know what I mean? Like di na ko magunahuna
Yeah.
sa ako ang
Yeah.
gikaon.
So you would prefer nga at first sa kanang there's time to talk
There's time to talk
before the food gets served. Oh.
Maglami og storya ba para at least inikaon mo na nakuhaan na gamay inyong
Yeah.
storyaan niya. Manakay panahon nga you be a little bit mindful of your eating because I tried that yesterday. Nindot yung kayo nga feeling yun. Nga kana bitong like, you know, we talked about this. I don't know, was it yesterday or the other day?
What's this about?
About being mindfully
Okay.
eating ba, di
Yeah,
ba?
I think that was yesterday.
So like
the other day, sorry.
Akong gipaminaw ang buwa sa sabaw, ang pag-boil niya. Akong gisimhot siya og tarong. Ako siyang, you know, I try to use all my 5 senses
All
ba?
your senses.
Ang
Good.
akong gihikap ang kaldero kanang potted clay
To
the
feel na
warmth,
init
the
pa siya.
warmth. Init pa. So I really did that and it feels so damn good, right?
It does. And you get to savor every bit of that experience.
Yeah.
And that's nice also kung di ka gutom. Problem is, when you're gutom, you don't want to like savor anything. Basta makakaon lang ka.
Yeah.
So I don't really enjoy, like, I love kanang sangyup Korean barbecue, but I don't want to eat sangyup kung gutom kay ko. Kaya
Okay.
di man ko I get impatient. Like, I'm like, cook already. Like, God damn it. Gutom na kay ko. And I'd have to wait for the food to cook. Like, ako pa, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I don't like going to sangyup kung gutom kayo.
Okay.
Sometimes ito when my family is asking, where should we eat dinner? If gutom kayo, we're like, nah, don't go to sangyup. Kay kapoy gluto. Like, let's go to a place nga, you know, the food would be cooked already for us. So,
Yeah.
But I think Sangyup is a great idea for what you mentioned, Jiggy. If you're talking about like social, like if you want eating to be a social activity, Sangyup is a great idea. Kaya napamamoy tayo magluto-luto, story-storya, ana ba?
Alegre kay akong daddy Sangyup.
Why?
We brought him to Sangyup years ago. And siya, kita pa yung magluto, kita pa yung mabayad. Sa mukha ni.
That's exactly what my relative said to her. We brought a relative to Sangyup also, and I think one of them said that food. Kita pa yung mulunto. Samot nang ka ng hotpot. Same gyapon.
Oh, di ba?
Kita gyapon mo sa sabaw. Ay,
But you know, when you eat to eat, it's eat to eat. Meaning to say, moadto ka og restaurant para mo kaon lang yun, or moadto ka og restaurant to like have a reunion, you know, like gather friends and family and loved ones so that you bond and all that stuff, right? I think those are two different things. Para nako, like, well, it can be one, of course. Pero kung imong tuyo sa pagkaon is just to nourish yourself, meaning to say, para masatisfy imong kabusog, ay imong kagutom, right? Lahi na siya sa moadto kag restaurant unya kaning magtapok-tapok mo.
Oh yeah, it's really different.
Diba? And you should look at it as differently, right?
Yeah, I think if it's just to satisfy my hunger, kaya mahuman naman ako ang kaon in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'll probably finish a meal in 5 minutes and then leave. But if you notice, if you're with company of great people and then you're talking maabtan mo 1 hour plus, sometimes kung mga pipa mo after when the food is served, you'll order some extra stuff.
Cha-cha.
Oh, magkanang what you call this? Kanang
tea
or like mga snacks or dessert.
Dessert.
Then you'll take another hour pa gid, diba?
Yeah. So
madugay gid ka.
Mo lagi so malipat lang sa dagan nagagikaon.
Yeah. Oh, that's a thing.
Mo na akong concern good.
When the companies good mo overeat.
Oh my God, man, you have no idea.
Labi na they're like, oh, try this.
Yeah, because you lost count of how many, you know, like bowls of soup you've eaten or how many
already.
Hindi nakakabantay ba, di ba?
Yeah, I don't notice that. I feel like I'll eat as much as I want regardless.
Regardless of the company?
Regardless of the company,
Really?
like I'll probably overeat even if it's
Really?
But I don't really enjoy eating alone, Jiggy.
Really? Okay.
Maybe just to satisfy the hunger, pero boringan man ko to eat alone.
Yeah.
So I agree with you that eating is
social thing, di
yeah.
ba?
That's why I like eating out with my family. Kay mas lingaw. Pero kung if it's alone, so
Pero,
lame.
but it's also an opportunity for you to be present, di ba? To be present with your eating, right?
Yeah, sometimes you also need that like quiet time and
you can do that with coffee too. And in fact, I would venture in saying kaning coffee is really my present time.
Okay.
More than eating. Of course, I'd like to extend also
present time to everything, including eating.
Eating, yeah, not just my coffee, because I think coffee, you know, like I can smell the steam coming out of the cup. You know, I can smell the coffee. You know, and I can smell the.
And I think you're not meant to finish your coffee in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Pasok
stretch
ka, mapasok sa ka. Kung init ka yung kape, so you can put your arms, or not your arms, but your hand around the cup. So init siya. So there's like for me there's like a what do you call it, a ceremony involved in.
I mean, I do iced
coffee,
but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like you don't chug it right away,
Yeah.
ba? Kanang hinay-hinayin mo. I agree with that.
Yeah, kanang buffet sad para nako.
I love buffet.
Buffet is para nako tinapulan yun ang buffet.
Why?
Tinapulan ang buffet kay you know, like you don't know what to eat, especially if you have friends from out of town and you know show them around.
Okay. You mean like it's
no,
that's the best option because you don't know what they like, man. So take it to the buffet.
You didn't have the prerogative and you know the effort to ask them what they want. You know, some come out buffet.
Anything,
diba?
buffet.
Buffet ta, diba?
Buffet is the best option.
Yeah,
Kay para
alkansi juga ng buffet kay
Why?
kanang buffet.
Oh.
Kanang buffet man good, like number one, slippery slope yun ang buffet, di ba? Kay you have all the food in the world, right? So kansi gyud ana kay imuhang appetite. You can never trust your appetite nga dili ka mukaon og sobra kay na may daghan diya.
No, that's the point of the buffet. If you're gonna eat small, then sayang kayo.
Exactly.
You have to sulit it.
Exactly.
You have to eat a lot.
Yeah. So, muna, siya ka ng buffet, para nako, kaning more na siya trap. Number 1, tinapulan. Number 2, kaning, mura siya og kansi, jugo. Murang, di jugo ganahan.
Chigi, I feel like you have a very negative
buffet.
at buffet. Ako bali, I don't feel kansi because actually, that's what my family says. I'm the best person to take at buffets.
Okay.
Dili man alkansi if it's me.
Okay.
Because like, I'll try everything as much as I can. I'll try.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to waste like I'll just eat there. Pero there's one thing I don't try at buffets, Jiggy. You know what that
Okay.
is? The
What?
salad bar.
Really?
I skip the mga salad, mga lettuce and stuff like that. Diretso na ko to the meats.
Okay.
So, yeah, I should change that this year.
Ako, I told you this already. Ako dito jugo sa kuan sa kaning sana salmon sashimi.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Muna sana so kung mahimo like like a mound.
What if breakfast buffet? What do you go for, Jiggy?
Oh,
I'm curious. I feel like you can tell a lot about a person based on what they eat sa ilahang mga breakfast buffet.
Ako kung sa balay lang ganahan jud ko malasado sunny side up eggs, right?
Okay.
And then
Perfect.
like garlic rice, and then maybe like a bacon and like ham. That's it. Simple lang ko and a good cup of coffee. But if I'm going to a restaurant to eat my buffet and ganahan jud ko og freshly baked croissants. Croissant. Mo na pinakalami sa breakfast yun ni imong.
That's what you go for first and foremost. Like
You lather it with a little bit
butter.
of butter, a little bit of jam. Oh my God. Of course, kung wala na siya, puto og sikwate.
But you don't go for like rice and sudan.
No, like I said, that's what I do normally in the house.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So yeah, but
So you're a bread-
I still go for that. But if I'm in a restaurant and especially in a fine
Like
hotel,
a buffet, breakfast buffet.
wala siya akong pagkitaon. But I still go for the basics. Ikaw, so
Yeah.
how does what's your plan of attack sa breakfast
See,
buffet?
it's a plan of attack. Good. I really take it seriously.
Yeah.
I'll go for first. I like pastries, but if the pastries are super good, I'll have a smaller plate filled with the pastries, like
Okay.
kind of mga danishes. I'm
Okay.
not really a croissant fan,
Mhm.
but I think I like mga small danishes. I don't muffins,
Okay,
mga na.
okay.
Pero later na siya nako kanon after I eat
Mm.
rice and whatever ang mga sudan diha is.
Okay.
Kay, I don't like to become busog pa.
Okay.
So I'll probably have a little bit of rice. If there's bulad,
Bulad?
if there's like a native or Filipino
Okay.
buffet, I'll always go for the bulad.
Mhm.
And then sometimes I'll go for bacon. And if there are potato wedges or like kanang mga potatoes, I'll always go for that. Like
Mhm.
maybe half my plate are filled with potatoes. And then, yeah, I'll go for the savory food.
Mhm.
Ganahan jud kog savory. And then if the buffet has a noodle bar, I'll probably go with like egg noodles and something like that. Like a little bit of noodles. So right now, I'd have a little bit of pastries,
Okay.
rice and sudan,
Okay.
noodles.
And-
That's like round one.
Your plate one.
That's like, yeah, round one, tulog ka plate.
What? Tulog ka plate? Say round one tulog ka plate. Pasabta ko.
Ang usa ka plate is the sudan.
Okay.
And little bit of rice.
Okay.
Katong mga savory food.
Okay.
Ang usa ka gamay nga plate, pastries.
Okay.
Gamay lang. Then the other bowl is katong mga noodles. So, and then coffee.
Round one pa na ha?
Round one, that's coffee. Round two, kung busog-busog na gamay,
Round two?
I'll go back for like fruits,
Okay.
cereal, katong mga, unhealthy, starchy, except for fruits.
Okay.
Mga dessert na, and then maybe like juice or something
Okay,
like that.
then round three.
Wala na. Two rounds ako. Two rounds.
Round three, padong na CR.
And then, habot tanan. And then go back. Yeah. But I'd always go for savory food good first. Jiggy balita, diba? You go for the croissants and the puto, mga sweet first.
Yeah.
I'll go for savory
Yeah.
first.
That's actually a technique. Muna alkansi lagi ko kung lagi.
Yeah,
kung-
you are
kung
alkansi,
buffet kay-
Jiggy.
Kay mag-dessert ko una.
Yeah.
Kay para mabusog.
Or go back and forth na lang siguro ka.
Huh?
You can go with dessert first and then eat
Okay.
something savory, then
I
dessert
guess,
again.
yeah.
Ana ba?
In case you're wondering, we're just talking about food and being present and all that stuff.
Yes.
Mayong bungkag ni Budia Herbert, Jan Ro, and Ramil Cabuenas. Happy New Year, TMC. Good morning, Sir Jiggy and Miss Justine. Greetings from Ramel Cabuenas and Jeffrey Flores driving the Tara Tops bus now.
Ooh,
Yes!
Good morning, sirs. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Maayong bungkag ninyo dihang duha.
Yeah, and also maing bukag or top of the morning to all the listeners sa Tops Bus right now.
Yes.
Medyo daghang tao na ron. Jiggy. Actually, I was expecting after New Year's there aren't much visitors pero karon daghan.
Dag daw? I didn't notice. I didn't go outside.
Well, the usual daghan
Okay.
magid basta morning pero mas
Dag-
daghan pa
mas
sa
daghan
hapon.
karon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grabe tog New Year's Eve, Jiggy.
I know,
This place
right?
was packed. This
Yeah,
place
I
was
know.
Filled good.
Justine Narvios and I were hosting the grand celebration here at the Tops, and it was beautiful. this is the first time that I've seen the fireworks from this vantage point. Kaya usually di alam mata sa the circle, di ba? Kanang the circle, that's the what we would call the original tops, right? Monang lugar nga tops near the leads, right? So kani nga to ang gi holdan sa ato ang
New Year's Eve countdown
yes,
gala.
it's called the event space. Ang sa taas na niya matong Sky 360, di ba?
Yeah, and it's the first time that we ever opened it up to
Yes,
public.
that's why,
so
yeah.
a lot of people were happy. My grandma, for example, she hasn't been up there pa.
Yeah.
So pag New Year's Eve, nakasaka siya.
Ah, really? You brought her up there?
Yeah, she
Wow,
wanted to
nice.
see. She wanted to see. Actually, I showed her on TMC too. She
Okay.
was really happy.
Wow, okay.
And she was like, "Wow, you can really see the entire Cebu." Good. I was
Okay.
like, "Yeah, that's why it's nice, especially pag." Actually, Jiggy, pag 11 p.m. pa lang, grabe ka puno ang Sky Deck 360. Even here around TMC,
lagi-
people claim their spot already.
Mora na git flag, di ba?
Yes, nga. Ako diri
This
ko.
is my small piece of real estate, right?
People were
They were
claiming
standing
even
there for more
around
than
the ledge,
more than an hour, di ba?
Yeah, even around the event space.
Yeah.
Nangabutang people placed their mga seats.
Yeah.
To wait for the fireworks.
Yeah.
Apparently,
And
get the best
we
view.
were so overwhelmed that we were expecting and preparing for so many people, and then almost twice showed up.
Definitely. No, I think twice good.
Yeah, so nahitabo nakaproblema gamay sa pagkaon, but eventually we were able to make it up because our friends from the different brands here in Tops were able to rescue us by serving food. In fact, there's so much extra food na hinuon in the end kaya daghan kay katong mga hopya sa
Hopya sa
empanada
quick
sa
snack.
quick snack,
rather,
katong pizza sa
New York pizza.
Queen's Pizza, and many more other food items out there.
Burgers.
Lechon kawali, so burger, what do you call burger bar, and lechon kawali, na manok, and all that stuff. So nasubra ninong pagkaon. But anyway, we'd like to apologize to those that got a little impatient because gigutom ko sila kay gabi kibaw nakagutom mo ng tao, di ba?
Oh, yeah.
But I hope nga we were able to make up with all of that free flowing fine wine.
Yeah, I got I heard some people talking about how sulit ang after party
Yeah.
because even though late niya abot ang food,
Yeah.
Daghan man kayo to eat at the
Yeah,
after party and
exactly.
then the free flowing
Yeah,
wine pa. So
yeah.
if you stayed a little bit longer,
Yeah.
it's actually sulit.
Yeah, and the band. What was the band? What was the band
It was a
called?
DJ pa.
No, there's like a band first.
Divergent.
What a very interesting
Divergent, man. I
name
know. I think
for a
about
band,
the
right?
film when I heard the
Yeah.
name.
Mora siya rock band, but divergent. Kay divergent behavior and all that stuff. Kwan siya niya paghuman si Hidilyn ang atong
It was so good.
busker diri nga ni perform on stage, and of course DJ Kobe ang atong in-house DJ sa Honeycomb Hostel Dark Side was able to play for us during the post New Year the New Year na gid ba after 12 midnight ba. And it was a lot of fun, right? I noticed that Summer actually was smiling from ear to ear because Kobe played one of the songs of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Paghuman, that's when everybody just sang along and danced. So lingaw kay si Summer ato and all of that stuff. And then ako eventually I went down to the dark side. I don't know if you've ever been to the dark
I
side.
have, but not at night.
Manindot kay I like,
We were supposed to
I like
stay
the
at the
vibe there.
Honeycomb.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to stay there, para
Yeah.
we don't have to go all the way home.
Yeah.
Pero grabe booked daw.
Fully booked
It's
lagi ko, no?
fully booked.
Yeah.
So,
So-
what you get at the? Let me guess.
No,
You got
we were just we were just getting
Amaretto.
No, I don't like
Oh.
amaretto. I like my whiskey neat.
Ah,
But
okay.
so nahitabo to gihuwat lang palabay lang panahon para ang traffic di mo
Yeah, did you
decongest
see
ka.
the line from the parking?
Yeah, I know. That's why
It was crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
Everyone's
the,
rushing to go down na ba?
I'm not the type that
Would wait?
Would wait for
Yeah.
usikan di ko sa panahon ng traffic. So yeah, we waited and then we're fine after that. So that was a really nice New Year celebration, I think.
Yeah.
And now we're back to square one. Day one.
Oh, day two.
No, day one of the working week the working day of 2025, right?
Yeah. It's been
Ikaw,
it's
Justin,
been
like-
a long.
Ikaw, padung
Year.
naman ka og eskwela ka sang balik inyong klase.
That I don't know yet when.
You- what? You don't know yet?
Yeah, I have to check. Pa
Not
when ang
knowing
enrollment.
not knowing is half the fun.
It is.
Aba,
it is.
matindi!
I'm waiting for updates sa enrollment pa. Actually, I don't have all my grades yet, and that's what's killing me. Actually, waiting for that.
Oh.
I'm so cool ba?
Oh no.
I'm so cool ba give
what do you think? Unsa pananan nimo sa imuhang
I really don't know.
grado? Do you think you'll have a great grades, or will you have a failure, an F?
F.
What
That
is
I don't know, but
F?
because I do know that every exam
F
I
pa ba
took.
ibutang ko mahagbong sa ibutang F but kinaraan na kay ako
American style ba,
grading
F?
system mo unsa man yung
they
kana
just-
1.1 mo
yeah.
college ba dili
3 is passing man.
okay
So
ang pinaka mura og pinakagamay is 3 nga passing di ba sakto
no, you can get 5. You can get 5. That's
pasar gyapon
No, 3 is the passing.
mo lagi
It's the mid.
so mura siyang pinakagamay the pinakagamay nga makapasar ka
Yeah, just to
mura
pass.
minimum muna
3.
siya so 1.0 is the highest
Yeah,
right
it's 100.
okay. Kinumdum pa rin ka sa akong pagka-college there so
Yeah.
tanaw ni mo sa nakakay line of 2
I don't know.
line
Oh
of
my God,
3,
Jiggy. I
unsa
just
man?
know that when I took the every test I took, I take, ighuman sa test, I'm always scratching my head. Like, there's not been one test that I've taken nga, nakaingit ko.
nga walay
That
katol
was easy.
mangatol imong basigoy katol di ba
Oh.
mangaut ka
Yeah, I mean, I've never tried, like, taking a test nga, pag open pa lang, makaingit ko, easy. No,
It
it's
was-
always like,
Yeah.
okay, slow down. Okay, calm down,
Yeah.
calm down. Just take it one step, one question at a time.
ngano ka na
I think,
ngano ka na
You
like
know what?
for example when
maybe it's my confidence also.
your confidence level
Yeah, I really don't feel confident. Even if, you know what, Jiggy, even sa mga recitation, even if I know the answer,
okay
I'm not gonna raise my hand unless taugon ko.
ngano man ka sa
I'm afraid.
like for example
afraid to
si Vaughn and si Lorraine nag-take sila exam sa PT right
Yes.
pag human they felt horrible they felt like like they didn't do well nakapasar na sila you know what I
Yeah.
mean so ngano ka na ba nga even though nakapasar ka even though your grades are probably all right why is there still a sense of doubt ngano man na kadi ka sigurado sa mga answer unsa man
Maybe it was with the difficulty of the test. Aside from not
mo
being-
laging ngano man why did you feel nga difficult ni nga exam nga at the end of once the results kami nakapasar de ka
Yeah.
ngano man na unsa man na nakachamba lang ka unsa man na how does that how does
I think it has to
how
do
does your
with-
stress connect with the results nga maayong di imong grades
I think it has to do with the confidence also. And I'll admit also there've been so many tests that I've taken nga, like I found out about the test only within the week. And then diha ra sad ko nag-study ato nga coverage. So kato nga chapters diha ra nako na reread.
Okay.
So then I'm rushing, I'm cramming, which I always do. So that contributes to my low confidence also when I take the test siguro. Ana. But we'll see.
we'll see
We'll see.
see, right?
Oh God, please.
Yeah.
Pasar lang.
kanang prayer ba human nakag-take sa test mo take effect pa na siya dili
I believe in miracles, Jiggy. So there can be miracles.
so maybe please enlighten the checker to tawag na
No, magically mo change mo answers.
or maybe kaning destroy his eyesight para he won't
Ala.
see the mistake unsa man na
I don't know.
how do you pray
Yeah, kung nahuman na.
human na exam
I think what you can pray for na lang would be that okay, what in a miracle like in the context of miracles, like ang most of
Matay
the time
malibat unta to ang dig-check.
subjective sad ba ya ang essay checking.
Okay.
Unless there's a rubric provided, which
okay.
in most cases, especially in school, there's no rubric.
Okay.
If your answer is wrong, it's
Okay,
freaking wrong. Like
okay.
your professor is gonna, and most of our tests are actually all essay gid sa law school. It's all essay. So then I'm hoping that my answer makes, like, I was able to articulate the points properly. Nga. Undeniably correct siya.
Okay.
Like na ang keywords ba? That's what they look for.
Pero
man.
wala naman kayo mabuhatan na.
Wala na.
Ikaw man na magsuwat nimo, right? So imong yung
na.
pangadyanan mo check siguro.
Yeah, that
May
too.
tatog
You know
ka.
what? The best prayer na lang good is that you, the one who took the test, will
Okay.
accept the result.
Okay.
Wala naman kayo mabuhat. Wala kayo mabuhat unless you pray nga mo magically mo shift
Oh yeah,
answers.
for example,
Sama
na kay hibaw-an gyud nga imbes ang answer kay letter A, letter B, kay multiple choice ba.
Oh.
Nga sayop ka B imong answer, pero kibaw jud ka nga A dito di for a
Patay
fact.
ka, wala.
Sabihin ka, Lord, palihog, switch dito A ang B.
I-magically switch, no?
Why pangadyang inana?
And I don't know if God works that way. I think katawan na kasi Ginoo na, but
Katawa.
I think it's gonna be like, wow, I know I'm a miracle maker, pero seriously?
Okay.
No?
You're asking for too much,
You're
girl.
asking for too much. That's crazy.
You know, one of the best things that happened to me in 2024 came at the last few days.
Later part. Oh.
I was able to witness right in front of me one of my favorite performers to come out of Cebu. And we did an episode of Boxed In in Ted's Resonant Audio Studios with this next artist. Her name is Kate Torralba.
Ooh.
This one's called Drunk on Your Love on 105.1 TMC.
The best of us.
Why is it not coming out? That's weird. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. What did you say?
We'll fix some things.
We'll fix some things.
We'll fix some stuff. But you're ready for the new year. That's why it's like.
Give me a second. What is that?
So Boxed In, you got to meet the artist of this song,
Yeah.
mismo. Kate Torralba, right?
Where's that?
Maybe it's with the maybe it's with the knobs. No.
Interesting. Do. How about we play this instead?
Yeah, our systems are probably like.
Okay.
Our system's probably like, it's still stuck in 2024.
I know. So anyway.
We haven't played music since last year.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that's what I love about the start of the year. You can say stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I haven't eaten in a year. I
My-
haven't
my-
showered
my-
since
my-
last year.
this is- So yeah, I got to meet Kate Torralba, and as soon as this thing plays, we'll figure it out. Anywho,
So this is her newest track.
no, this is actually not a new song. It's a relatively old song. She did this one years ago, but she's working on a brand new album. You know,
Wow.
You've never heard of Kate? Kate used to be a fashion designer. She was like a designer for the Stars. One of her big clients were back in the day. You know, like Chris Aquino and
Wow.
Tessa Prieto and all these stars and all of that. But she decided to settle in the thing that she loves to do, and which was singing, right? And Young Studio is very interesting because, okay, where is this? Oh, give me a second.
But it's playing on the system right now.
I know it is. Okay, it's playing, but
Should I call? I'll call Kuya Melcher. Give me a second.
yeah, call Kuya Melcher. No, I think you should call Ghostbusters. What a ghost, Mr. Gurney. Anyway, okay, we were saying it is now 10:26. This is Jiggy Juice, and right across me is Justine Narvios. Maayong bungkag ni Bada Joel Lim. Daghang salamat sa imong pag-join sa ato ang conversation here at top of the morning. Like I said, I am Jiggy Juice. Right across me is
Justine Arvias. Hi guys, top of the morning.
And then-
Thank you for joining us.
And then we were just talking about Kate Torralba. Let me continue my conversation, Justine, because I think you can learn a lot from Kate
Oh, yeah,
because
for sure, for
she's
sure.
been around for quite a long time.
now.
She actually started out as one of the band members of the band Hard Candy, and of course she I think proceeded her career and went to Manila to do designing, all of that stuff. And one day, this is like a weird accident for her. She said there was like a sale, an airline sale for a trip to Europe, and then it was so cheap. She bought it and didn't mind anything at all because she just wanted to go to Europe and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Or was it Britain or somewhere there? I think it was the UK.
Kuya Magic Land.
And then she didn't realize it was actually winter in
that time?
UK at that time. That's why the tickets were so cheap,
Mao,
right?
di ay.
So anyway, long story short, she eventually went to a kind of bar, a kind of club that has like local performers. Like an open mic kind of thing. You familiar with open mics?
Yeah, yeah.
And anybody can just sing.
So anyone from the
Yeah.
audience can just sing.
So she went to the person in charge. I think it was the manager, one of those in charge. And can I sing? But she and the person said, no, you can't sing because you have to enlist for open mic. You can't be just
Register.
You have to register. And
So di na siya open mic, close mic na.
no, but it's like a line. So you have to.
Okay, get in line.
So you have to get in line, right? And her flight back home was like already the day after. It's just so if she's not gonna sing now, she's never gonna sing. And nagbabaga ko na siya naong, ingon siya nga, you know what, I'm really good. And she said that, I'm really good, you know.
I love that.
So she had like the audacity to say that. And, you know, I came from far away and I'm here, I'm really good, you know.
Yeah.
And then so
They took a chance on her?
so what happened was, sige. Like,
Isikit ka.
kung na ay malate, kung na ay di maabot, isingit ka na ko.
Perfect.
So ang next performer wala man na late ba. So gipakanta siya. So the crowd was like they had their jaws dropped, and you know the reaction of the crowd was so great. And after that performance, she went back to Manila, and then she got like phone calls to perform. So she was asked to return to the United Kingdom. And she has been touring since that day. She's been touring the entire Europe for like 5-7 years, just performing her music. So
I love when Filipinos make it outside of the
Yeah.
Philippines. Like I love when
So-
foreigners appreciate.
So that happy accident nga naka kuha siya og ticket during in the middle of winter in UK turned out to be a happy accident. So
God
so
arranged that for her,
so ano
yeah.
ba, like it
One
was
of her
just
best
it was
performances.
just like a
Spontaneous thing?
you know, had she not asked to perform,
Exactly.
had she not, you know, taken the ticket to UK, nothing would have happened, right?
Yeah. So sometimes pabagag now,
Yeah.
especially if you're an entertainer,
But
in any chance.
yeah, but that's
it-
very
it
that's
helps.
very interesting, right?
Kaya wag mo sa kay you know, you don't lose anything. Like the worst thing they can say is no.
Yeah.
You'd have to really register. Then wala ka mabuhat. Pero at least you say you tried. But imagine if she was too shy and she would just like wait for it. Yeah. Si Joel Lim here in the comments. The song "Drunk on Your Love" kay drunk pa daw ang music won't come out yet. Yeah, we're still figuring out some stuff.
So muna siya. So I think
Something got on
the lesson here to be learned is really, what do you've got to lose, right?
Yeah.
Right. What do you've got to lose?
Like, mao nang gingon nga, so you lose 100. Huh? What's that? You lose 100% all the chances you don't take. Huh?
Something
Shots
like that.
you don't take,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay. I don't know. One of my favorite quotes about that is from Steve Jobs, right? When he said,
Who said that?
yeah, one of the best. I paraphrase horribly. One of the things that he said was, one of the best ways for you to conquer that human trait of delaying things ba.
Oh, that's me. I'm
And
the
unya
biggest
lang,
procrastinator in this world.
procrastinating and you know, maybe next time, maybe next year, and all of that stuff, is to know that you're going to die. You know, you're going to die, and you have nothing to lose, you know, because eventually you're gonna get the hell out of this place, you know. So you have nothing to lose. So whatever it is that you want to do eventually,
Just do it.
do it. Just do it na lang
Exactly.
because you are going to die.
I love that.
And-
I really resonate with that in the past year. Kana bitang time is very short.
Absolutely,
and,
man.
And
Or long, depending on
Or long, how you view
the
it.
kind of life that you have.
yeah, again, it's with perspective.
Yeah.
But then you never know which chance you'll ever get again.
Yeah.
Or when an opportunity would present itself again. So then you have to just take whatever. Be ready for anything ba? Katong, there's something that you said a couple days ago. I think when my sister was here, you said na someday is like
Oh, someday is a disease that you'll take to the grave with you. Someday is a disease that you will take to the grave with you. So, sige kag someday, mamatay na lang ka, wag gyapon na nahitabo imong someday, right?
That's also really scary to
Yeah.
have that kind of regret when
Yeah.
you get older in the future.
Yeah.
Kaya makaingon ka nga, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
I hate regret. So I'd rather, do everything now.
But see, the thing is that there's also not enough time, right?
Yeah,
you know what I
you
mean?
can't do
There's not enough time
and
to-
resources.
There's not enough time to do all the fancy nonsense we need to do in life, right? But because whether you like it or not, like if you really think about it, most of the things that we want to do are just fancy nonsense, man.
Fancy nonsense.
Fancy nonsense.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Wala
true.
there's enough time. Like I was just talking about it earlier this morning. Mana na New Year na ta. Paabot na po tag sinulog. Wag gyud kahumanan gyud ang atong pagpaabot. Right? We never give
Ourselves a break.
Give everybody ourselves a chance to just enjoy the here and the now, right? Murag mubo ra kayo.
Speaking of sinulog, I'm quite excited. Not really for going out.
Okay.
But I don't usually in sinulog. I don't really do anything, man.
Okay.
Pero I think this year I wanna try mag novena without. Para complete the experience, it would be nice to go to the church mangid every day.
Yeah.
Mo complete sa masses.
Yeah.
But if you can't do that, it would be nice to also just do your own novena. So I think I'm gonna try that for sinulog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Padayon lang sa itong conversation because we're having a great conversation. But Melcher and maybe Ron can come here and fix this. Buntag naman Joey Lim, what if she didn't buy the ticket? She stayed in the Philippines and bought a mega lotto ticket and won 150,000 pesos. Well,
No, 150 million.
150 million. I did 1,000
Ay,
pesos.
nako.
So you'll never know. You'll never know.
If I had 150 million, the first thing I'm gonna do would be to travel good.
Okay.
Kay di na ako padugayan. Like I'll buy tickets to everywhere.
Okay.
I wanna be like, there's one thing. But I was joking with my sister. If you're super rich, what you should do is you should pack two luggages.
Okay.
One big luggage full of winter clothes.
Okay.
The other one full of for a little bit warmer climate, like
Okay.
a little bit tropical.
Okay.
Then you go to the airport counter, you go to the international counter on a random day, and then you just ask the lady, okay, give me the closest flight to like an hour from now.
Okay.
And then ikay pili where. So the lady gets to choose for you asa nga country.
Okay.
And then kung siya, for example, kani nga ano, then you just leave the other luggage there, the luggage that's not needed. So for example, mo siya nga, okay ma'am, in an hour from now there's a direct flight to the UK, and since it's January, kay bugnaw dito. So I just leave my tropical clothes luggage at the airport and then fly. Wouldn't that be nice? Risky but nice, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like a Russian relay, except for like you ask the lady to choose for you.
Yeah.
I would do that. If mo
Yeah.
siya nga, you have to go to, how do you pronounce it? Maldives?
Maldives, I think.
Maldives,
Kung,
siguro, no?
kung social ka, kung taga Cebu ka, Maldives.
Maldives.
Kung
I think it's Maldives.
Kung saucy ka, Maldives.
I think it's Maldives, gani. I'm not sure. But
Anyway,
imagine she says,
Depende na kita gadiin ka.
yeah, or she says like, oh, okay, I the next flight from an hour from now is to Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah. Dili man bugnaw dito. So I just leave all the winter clothes nga luggage. And then I take the other one with me. Would that be cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Like,
Yeah,
you let them choose where
yeah.
you go?
Yeah.
Pwede na ka mabuot nga, 1 week lang dito.
Yeah.
And then, I'll lisod know you if you have to apply. It has to be a country nga, di ka mo apply og visa.
Yeah.
So that you can just stay and then, decide, I'll go home like a week from now.
There's something about, because I'm not a big traveling guy, right?
You even travel very light.
I travel very light. Very light. Very light lang ako travel. I travel very light. I only brought a backpack when I went to the States. Anyway, my point is, I'm not a big fan of traveling. One of the things about traveling, is this. This is why people travel, and it is kind of a bold claim.
Why, man?
That there is better than here.
Exactly.
That's what it means, right?
Yeah.
That's
the idea that they have in their heads.
Wherever I am now is not as good as there. That's why I'm going there.
I need a little vacation.
And of course, I think one of the best parts about traveling for me lang yun, is really the new experiences that you have, right? With, for example, me. When I travel, I usually travel when I want to see my brothers, for example, right? So it's the conversations that I have with them that are the best. Not the fancy Disneyland, Universal Studios,
It's also who you visit and who you're traveling with.
And like the Great Wall of China, or the
Mga
Buddha.
sites.
Like, I don't remember them. It's like when I was there in Disneyland, and like there were so many many people, like there was like a crowd, almost like the New Year's scene here at Tops.
Just to line up for one
Yeah,
ride.
like, so my head is mukha anyway. Like, I could just stay in Cebu and have better than this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with me, But like,
no, I think you're just not phased with that na. I feel like kanang
but
you
I've
know, they
never-
don't excite you as much as
I've-
ba.
you know, like I've only been to Disneyland once. You know, this is all new to me. I should be exhilarated, right? But
Well, I don't think it's your cup of tea anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just not in, that's not the laag that you want to do
Yeah,
na.
yeah, yeah.
Basin, you know, you're not really into rides. To be honest, I'm like that.
no, but I'm not
pero
just
I still
talking.
get
I'm not just talking about rides in particular, because I was giving you a list of things that don't phase me anymore, like Great Wall of China, like the Grand
Oh, okay.
Canyon, yeah, like everything.
So it's not with the place. It's just you just feel like you're
Like,
not you're not so excited not to see
I
mga
mean,
sights.
you know, when you see a beautiful view, like wow, but you know, like it just,
But other than that,
it just dissipates and then it's gone, right? I
so
mean,
maybe for 10 minutes you're like, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Take a few pictures
Yeah.
and then like, okay, let's go.
Because it's not earth shattering. It's not earth. You know,
It's not mind-blowing.
It's not life changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I'm not at that level yet. I mean, I'll still be excited about something.
Yeah.
I still get excited about visiting a new cafe. Ako,
Okay.
kaon naman ako, and, you know. Like, there are still some things that really excite me.
Okay.
Like, if I see a new cafe,
Okay.
even just ordering coffee from there, I'm like, yay, you know?
Yay!
I'm like, yay. But
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll reach that point too. Nga kanang, but I get what you mean. Sometimes you visit a place and you're like, okay, what now? I've taken all the pictures. I've walked around. Now what?
I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe because I have a great imagination. You know what I mean? Like I can imagine when I read a book, when I listen to somebody speak, when I listen to a podcast or listen to somebody speak, I can already imagine it's like me I'm actually transported when I'm engaged in reading a book, for example. Mura ko kung i-describe nila ang Grand Canyon, for example, it's like I'm almost there. And when I'm finally there, it's exactly what I had in mind. You know what I mean? So I'm probably like that. Maybe I have a good imagination and I can inhabit the moment. You know what I mean? Inhabit the person's mind, inhabit the experience.
I think it also has to do with you being, like, you're always on the go. Siguro na anada ka na. Like, when you visit one place, you're like, okay, where to next?
Okay.
So I think maybe the itinerary that would fit you the most is that in one day you go
Yeah.
to several places.
Yeah.
I think there are some people, man, that they would prefer when they travel, for example, nga, one place at a time per day.
Mhm.
So like, in this day, we're gonna visit this site. Kana ra.
Okay.
Yeah, play things by ear. But there are some people, I'm like that too. Sometimes I would like to sulit my vacation. nga, okay, no, after we visit this site, I have to visit this place too. I want to eat at this restaurant. I want to go to this cafe. Masulit for me if daghan buhaton nun. So maybe that's what you're looking for too.
Maybe.
No? Kana
maybe.
bitang murag, okay, what now? Now that we visited this place, like, you want to sulit the most, squeeze the most out of your day.
Okay.
So you gotta visit several places at once.
Yeah. Because somebody once asked me, like, if you had all the money in the world, where would you want to go? Right? And my answer,
what's your answer?
without even thinking, was Mars. Let's go to Mars, you know?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, because I think...
I'm so scared of travel good.
Yeah, like the moon, I can envision myself ready, and I'd probably be bored out of my mind in the moon, but in Mars.
You're not afraid of being surrounded by all red and like, you like it?
All
No
red?
wonder you, like, diba Mars is red?
No, but if you go to Arizona, if you go to the Grand Canyon,
Mura ra gyud.
those are red rocks. Those are like red minerals, right? Daghan mang red.
No matter how much money I have, I don't think I'll be that adventurous and curious to actually want to go to space. I'm too
Really?
scared.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want.
Where are
I
you
feel
scared? You've never. Nobody's been to. In the family has been to space.
Even if I've had
nobody
so
in the
much,
family has
like, I
been
have
to
so much
space.
money. Like, for example, that's like a very doable trip
Okay.
to explore the ocean or to
Okay.
explore space, which are the two parts, you know, that we have not really, like, that there's so much to be discovered. pa.
Okay.
I would not. I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid, Jiggy. What if you get stuck there or something like that?
No. Of course.
Even if you have so much money, like, it's
You-
guaranteed
you-
na mobalik ka.
You mean
I don't wanna do
you're
it.
scared if you went to Mars now, you mean. But eventually what I'm saying is the scenario setting is when it's really safe to travel to Mars.
Not even. I wouldn't do it.
Why? Why not?
I don't know. I'm scared. Even if it's
Lagi.
like guaranteed nga mo, like guaranteed na they give you a flight back and like everyone has done it. na.
Ngano man. So may ngano safe naman garantisado naman nga safe imuhang flight to Mars. Nganong hadlok pa? Sa may hadlukan pa nimo?
Bitaw, no? I don't know. I just don't trust it. I feel like, you know, what if in like sa films,
Okay.
what if I age so much in the process and balik na ko sa Earth kay everyone's gone na. Yeah, tiguang na kay ko. I mean, no. I haven't aged. When I get back, everyone aged.
Okay.
Everyone's gone, or
Okay.
everyone I love is gone. Diba? I don't want that. I don't want the possibility of that. Jiggy, you've seen Interstellar. Come on.
Of course.
That's your favorite film.
My favorite film of all time.
Dude.
Yeah. What about Interstellar? I love Interstellar.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm scared. I wouldn't actually, spend money for that. Even if I had all the money in the world.
Even though you know it's 100% safe.
Yeah, I
And
think I'm
there's
just
no
not-
such thing
I
100%
think I'm
safe, but
not-
if it's safe, right?
Yeah, maybe I'm just not curious enough pa to explore the stars and the seas. I'll just stay here. I'll go to every country. That's what I would do if I could go to any country. If I had all the money, I'll just visit every country like every other day. Kana na lang. Until malibot na ko ang entire world. But not actually like space or anything like that.
You know, one of the sad things about the world, I consider it sad, is, although I've never done it, but there's no more unexplored part of the world. There's no more unknown part of the world. The last frontier is the depths of the ocean, right?
Yeah.
But as far as land is concerned, well, there's just everything is already explored.
Yeah.
There's
and
nothing
covered by satellite.
Yeah, there's nothing that
imagery,
that
so-
is on Earth, on land. I mean, that's not been discovered or has not been inhabited, or at least nainiagi nga tao diyang lugar. But maybe down there,
Down there for sure, the kind
like 10,000 leagues into
yeah.
the sea, like there's so much that we still don't know.
Unexplored.
Yeah, and we remember the plane that crashed a few years ago, and they still couldn't find the airplane. Remember that until now.
Yeah.
And
where asa man na siya ni-crash?
somewhere in the middle of the ocean.
Is that like the Bermuda Triangle?
No, it's not. It's just one of those. So that's how vast and expanse kaning the ocean is. Nga daghan pa kay na discover.
That's why it scares me.
O ni daghan sa gayong mga new species of life are yet to be discovered, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or not necessarily new. They've been there before
Yeah,
us
but
pa. Yeah.
new to us.
Oh.
Yeah. And the weird kayo, di ba? Sometimes under the ocean, di ba? Sometimes are like volcanoes, right? Na yung mga animals nga mo survive of like
Despite those
high levels of sulfuric acid.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Despite those harsh conditions. Yeah.
So it's amazing how life finds a way, right? Life finds a way.
Even in the deepest
yeah,
depths. That's true.
that's really one of the key features of this thing called life. It really finds a way, and we're so lucky that it found its way
Yeah.
here on Earth, right? And here we are, talking on top of everybody else from 2,000 feet closer to heaven, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So it's just amazing how life works.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I still wouldn't explore the ocean even if I had.
Kanindom ka to mga billionaires.
Exactly, who
Yeah.
had a submarine
Yeah.
and it was controlled by something like they had a really small controller.
Yeah.
And the freaking submarine imploded.
Yeah.
See, Jiggy, they got all the money, they got all the resources
Okay.
to do that project, and things still went wrong.
Okay.
So I would not risk it. I'm not that curious yet.
You're not that curious
I'll
yet.
stay here on land. I'm fine.
Okay. So what is it about sea travel and space
Ooh.
travel that scares you? You already board a plane. Masakay naman ka aeroplano, di ba?
Yeah.
Isn't that the same risk you're talking about? What are you
Yeah,
talking?
yeah. I don't know. I can swim mangyud, even sa deep.
Okay.
Pero I freak out when I can't like feel na anything. Like if I can't feel the, sand
Okay.
or like the bottom of the pool.
All right.
If I can't feel it with my feet.
Okay.
It feels weird to like float. Like my imagination's so crazy. Like I feel like there's a shark or a
Mhm.
snake or something, or an alligator or something like that that's gonna eat me, depending where I'm swimming.
In case you're wondering what is going on, you're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And my name is Justine Narvias.
And you're listening to Top of the Morning. Don't forget, it's 0999-887-6070. You can join us on Tops Media Center at YouTube.
Yeah, guys.
Like I said, my name is Jiggy Juice.
And my name is Justine Narvias.
And this is Top of the Morning on the first working day of the year.
First episode for.
First working day. Because we already did yesterday. I did yesterday and all that
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
So yeah.
So we were just talking about how it is to travel and being present. I think it all started with a conversation about being present, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing about TOTM,
Yeah.
guys. If you watch our past
Yeah.
episodes, we talk about everything and
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting to do that. I like that sometimes.
Yeah.
So there's no structure because
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
genuine. But
And going back to traveling, ba, like I feel like, di ba, we were just talking about how insatiable we are. Bago ra kita nagpaabot sa New Year, we were counting down and all of that stuff. It was a big deal. Now we're counting down to Sinulog. So we're insatiable.
Yeah.
That's just the human condition, right?
Yeah.
Akong feeling ng traveling is the same. Like when you go to one country and then like what next, right? You know what I mean? Like it'll never stop. We will always want to travel.
Want more.
We want more. We want to be able to travel and maybe come back to the same country that we went to and then go to another area. Blah
So
blah
I don't
blah.
think every experience is ever gonna be
Yeah.
the same.
Yes,
So even if you come back, like it.
So it's like a slippery slope. It's like a rabbit hole, right? Of Alice in Wonderland, right? Like there's no bottom to this.
Once you start exploring,
Yeah. Once you start wanting, once you start desiring, it'll never be satiated. It'll never be satisfied. So your desire to travel
your
is.
desire to explore.
I'm not trying to ruin to all the travel the jet
junkies.
setters out there, right? I'm just saying my point of view, right? Nga dili gina mahurot, dili gina di juga mabusog ana because ikaw man imong kaon,
You'd want to travel again.
and then you want to travel again and again. And that's fine. That's fine too if that's the way that you want it. It's all about, like I said, preference, right? But like what is it that you're looking for
Yeah.
in the first place?
I don't think it has to do with. I think the hunger or being not satisfied with just traveling to one place has to do with. It's not that you're looking for something in particular in that place. Maybe it's a feeling also.
I think
that-
it's the newness. I think it's
Newness,
we're always looking for novelty. We're always looking for new, and I think that's very important. I think that's crucial, right? Mangita something we have never experienced
Yeah.
before, right?
not necessarily a new place, but a new experience.
Yeah, that's why exactly because you don't have to go to somewhere far to experience new, right? Right?
That's true.
We want to experience first. That's why kanang New Year, mura na siyang importante kaya na siya kaya it's like the first day of the year. It's a brand new year, right? Mura like in our heads, like it's just the same thing, right? I mean, like nothing's changed really, except for a few fingers lost, maybe. But you know what I mean? Like nothing.
Few fingers
Yeah,
lost.
yeah.
That reminds me, Jiggy. I used to do this a lot pag pandemic. I really kept journals. I had so many journals, and I would write every day, every other day. If I missed it out, I'll list it on my phone, like what I did in that day. Then I'll go back to it. Kapoy bitaw kayo. Like it's kapoy to recall every single bit of what happened on that day. But now I don't regret it because it's like not only was it therapeutic and helpful at the time, it's nice to look back on that. And
Yeah.
so hopefully this year I'll be able to do that. Okay, I haven't done journaling in 2024 at all. Like I haven't wrote an entry sa Kabisi, which I wish I did.
Yeah.
No, it would have been interesting to do that. We'll see if time permits. But I think I should make an active.
Yeah.
I was reminded when you say something about newness, but because then, how would you know if that's a new experience? Kung wa kay murag you don't have any recollection of that. So by keeping a journal, you can remember, oh yeah, on this date I tried this new like this new coffee place or something like that.
And then when you go back, nag-adto nam day ka diya.
Yeah, I've already been there. I tried this new order.
Deja vu.
Deja vu. Or I tried this new order, something like that.
You know what? I actually don't. I'm not the journaling type, but one of the most interesting things about Asba is when we, if you have the opportunity to write things down and journal, and then you go 10 years after, and then you go back to it, and then you go like,
What the heck
what
was this?
What I thought of this?
Yeah.
I believed in this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm big on we are all victims of the ignorance of our time, right?
Exactly.
Onya paghuman the 10 year ago you believed in
so-
this.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I look at my old. You know, I think I've always been doing that. I've always done that since I was young.
Yeah.
I have diaries from since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And there's some stupid stuff I used to
Exactly,
write there
right?
about like school lang and like
Yeah.
I hate this subject.
Yeah.
Like something like that.
Yeah.
Like oh I'm so bored today something like that. It's funny lang to
Yeah.
see. And you'd also laugh about how your handwriting improves or gets worse.
Gets worse, right?
Like some days you can notice nindot kay agi. Some days kung lazy kayo batik kay agi. So
That's
I know
hilarious.
people who do mga vlogs instead.
Yeah,
Maybe like,
that's actually better.
kana na lang,
Vlogging, yeah.
vlogging na lang, like a monthly recap something or making a reel of what
Yeah.
they did in that month. That also helps. It really depends on you what your preference is, because then writing is so kapoy. And
Yeah.
again,
It's very interesting to write down your thoughts actually, because something transformational for me happens when you write it down. Because
When you write it down.
Yeah, because when your thoughts, Mango, you think you believe in this, right? You think this is the way the world works. You think that this is your position on something in your head, right? In your head.
Yeah.
But once you write it down, something happens. Like what? Like when you see the words come out of your pen, and then there's a kind of cognitive dissonance between exactly what you thought you believed in and what's in front of you what you're trying to write.
Yeah.
Because kanamagong writing is a kind of organizing mechanism.
Yes, I agree.
I-organize mo yung mga beliefs, mga thoughts, mga ideas, mga theories in your head. Once you organize it, what? I don't even understand this topic. I don't even believe in this. Why did I walk around this earth thinking that this is the way I believe, this is the way I interpret this is what I think. But when you write it down, dili day mao or dili day cohesive, dili day organized, diba?
Yeah. No, I think writing down stuff also makes it more real for you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If it's just in your head, it's just in your head. If you say
Yeah.
it to another person,
That's
also
something else.
makes it
That's
real.
another.
When you write it down,
Something transforms also, diba? When you say it to another
Yeah.
person, right?
When you're feeling negative about something, for
Yeah.
example, I don't feel I'm not in the mood
Mm.
today. Like medyo saputon ko.
Mm.
Then when you articulate that and say it to someone else, when you express it,
Mm.
it manifests itself na good na. You're making it known ba?
Yeah.
And something happens also. It's different when you write it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Good, no?
Yeah.
And I was really able to relate to that. I remember when my grandpa passed. You know, it's
Okay.
all in our head. Like it's a reality that we had to grasp. Okay, he passed. Pero as soon as I was filling up documents for yung mga death certificate,
Mhm.
that's when I realized like, oh my God, it's real.
It's
you know what I
real.
mean?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Like it's different when you're writing it down.
Okay.
Like, oh, okay, I'm actually filling out forms. Like it's actually real.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that helps for other people. For me, mismo, I would say it helped in a way because I really kanang came face to face with the reality ba,
Mhm.
and na-accept na ko properly and
Mhm.
slowly na process na ko
Mhm.
nga, oh, okay, this is what's happening. So I think that helped.
Yeah,
but then
abso-
again, writing something down is confirming that it's real.
Yeah.
So then that's a lesson to those who journal.
No, wait. I think you have to add another line. Writing something down makes it real to you.
To you.
Right? Because
Or mas ma-accept nimo ba?
writing something that doesn't automatically make anything real, right? Yeah.
I will be rich, and then you write it down,
Yeah,
it magically happens
yeah.
the next day.
So writing something down makes it more concrete, more real to you. But see, the thing is, mo lagi, like I
Accept
said,
nimo ba?
writing down is a kind of an organizing mechanism, di ba? So, mo na siya nga, murag makasabot na jud ka, mo din ni akong pagtuo, di mo din ang nahitabo di ay, di ba? And because you don't, there's no folders in your brain, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Organize mo, kani folder A, ni siya, But when you write, it's a kind of organizing mechanism, good, di ba?
I agree. I am a firm believer that my brain doesn't have any storage boxes. I think like the tiny people up there write stuff on paper
The
and then
tiny people up there.
Yeah, they just pile it up.
The
and
millions of different versions of Justine's, yeah?
Yeah. I think maybe core memories are kept in like how I envision it ba?
Core memories.
Core
okay.
memories are kept in like tiny treasure chests.
Okay,
Ana.
in the mind, right?
Yeah, then everything I learn in school and like daily life, kay the tiny people just write it down on pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Sticky notes and idikit-dikit lang sa wall. Mao na mga taga kung uban.
Yeah.
And then when it's time to recall something, they scramble to find it. Yeah, that's how I see that.
Kind of memories and all that stuff, but especially when you journal. You used to journal, right?
I do. I used to journal a lot.
And have you ever said this about the old you? Who is this person? I don't recognize this person.
Oh, yeah.
Is that even me?
Yeah.
Have you ever said that?
Yeah, both in a positive way and in a negative way.
Uh-huh.
And I'm hoping to have more experiences wherein I have a more positive.
But you can't label it positive or negative.
I do. Like for example,
Why would that be a positive or a negative? That was just you at that time. You did the best you could.
Yeah.
That was you, given the circumstance, given the information that you have available. That was you. So when you look at it 10 years, 20 years from now that you know better, why would that be a negative?
because there are some times that you also miss something that you used to be or that used to happen in the past, that doesn't happen anymore now, or that you're not that particular trait is not present in you now. And so
Okay.
you miss it and you're like, oh, that was nice. I used to be like this.
Ah,
before."
okay.
You know, like,
Yeah.
or there are times when you read your journals and you're like, what the heck? I was
Yeah.
so naive.
Yeah.
So that's a positive way,
Okay.
because then, murag, you feel like you've grown.
Okay.
Pero on the negative light, if there are some things like, oh, I
You wish you were.
yeah, like for example, you used to write about a certain pet that you used to have. For
Okay,
example,
okay.
in that journal, you wrote about how you were with this pet every day. And wala naman nga pet, for example, or you
Mm.
gave it away, or
Mm,
somebody
mm,
bought it, or
mm,
something
mm.
like that. Then now, when you're reading it now that you no longer have that pet, diba makaingon ka nga, oh, I miss that pet. Like, oh, it was nice said before. So then
Mm.
that's the part we're in. Like, you also kind of miss
Mhm.
what you used to write about,
Mm,
something like
mm,
that.
mm.
So I have both experiences, you know.
So it's a negative because you feel like you've lost a good part of you.
Yeah, there
A
are
trait
times.
of Justine Narvios that was good, and you're no longer that person. You no longer feel or look at the world like that. Is that what you mean when
Yeah.
when it's a negative?
Yeah,
Okay.
because look, I compare my journals from my diaries when I was like 10
Okay.
compared to now. And
Okay.
it's funny because the problems before were really kanang...
Your champagne problems.
Yeah, I love it because when I was a kid, it used to be like, wait, there's adobo for lunch.
Oh, no.
I don't even like adobo.
So you actually wrote that down?
Yeah.
Oh my God, really?
I have
Oh my
old
God.
diary entries from when I was a kid. Like literally from my old
So like when do you write at the end of the day or as it happens?
random stuff before. I wrote a lot of smack about school also.
But-
Like,
but-
I
but-
don't like math.
Yes.
Something like that. Why do we have math?
See the thing with writing is that everything is fluid. Everything is ever changing, right?
Exactly.
I remember I posted a few days ago about this TED talk by, I think we talked about this for a little bit, right? When Malcolm Gladwell talked about how he was wrong about a lot of things in his original. But did we talk about this with you?
Wala pa.
He one of his first books was Tipping Point, right? And it was like its 15th or 20th anniversary or 10th year anniversary. I'm not sure how many years that book is, but he was saying nobody should ever say that this book is true for all time. We should admit and say there should be like a caveat. This is what is true for me now. And nobody should say this will be a book that's true for all time.
For everyone.
For everyone and for all time, right? So that's the same about you journaling because if you write something down, Manggod, that's still fluid. That's still an ongoing process. For example, you don't like the adobo, right?
Okay.
You don't
Which
like the
was
adobo,
crazy
and
for
then
me to
and
even
then
write it down.
and then you wrote it down, right? And just moments after that thought of you don't like the adobo, somebody arrives. Maybe your dad brings in like pizza, for example, which probably you like, right?
Yeah.
So that would have changed completely had you waited a little bit longer,
to write
and
it
then
down.
you would say you know like I love my lunch today because although I didn't like that. Oh well, but the pizza was here. So things are always fluid. So writing things down admits to it a lot of things that you missed in the big picture of things, right?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you write this down, for example, I am here in this booth at Tops Media Center doing a show with Justine Narvios. And our show is called Top of the Morning. But that will not be forever true because after 12 we're going to have to leave because the show's done, right? You know you know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's
So
fluid,
ti-
it's an ongoing process. So when you write something down and immortalize it, you miss on something. Right? There's always you miss on something, right?
The thing about writing things down is that you're only limited to the point of view as to
At that
when
moment,
It was,
at that
when
moment.
it was written. So then it becomes like it's only true for that time, diba? So that's why you always have to keep writing, para you can see the progress in that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Jiggy, that's really, I feel like not to make an excuse for myself as to why I stopped writing, but I think maybe that's why I stopped writing in 2024.
Okay.
My feelings siguro na ako, I want to live the moment and let it pass
Yeah,
naturally,
yeah.
bitaw.
Correct, yeah.
And not have to think about like, okay, murag box myself into, okay, if that was a bad week, then it's immortalized when
you write it down, right?
Kanang that's how bad it was, so you have to write it down ba.
It'll forever be that and that piece of paper and that page, right?
Exactly. So
I'm also
sometimes-
actually like that. I
Diba?
don't like to hold on to memories as much as I can. I used to, but it's very counterproductive. Kind of picture, for example. Like, for example, there's a beautiful view, right?
Oh.
So something is lost once you take the picture, right?
Lost?
Because
You're like my brother. He thinks that too.
yeah, because when you're looking at it, when you're absorbing the view, that's the best camera of life, right? And if you take a picture of it, it's fine. You have like a close proximity
Close na lang.
of what
Of what happened.
what happened, right? So fast forward to 10 years,
Years from now.
20 years from now. You know, if your life is so boring and there's nothing going on, you try to look back and then, I remember this moment. And versus you looking for a new experience at that same moment. You know what I mean? Or that moment to you, katong adlaw nga nagtanaw ka diri sa Taps was so vivid to you, and just close your eyes.
Yeah.
And imagine the moment.
And feel all the sensations and there.
And it's like you're there all over again. As opposed to looking. I think a picture is a kind of an aid to that,
Yeah,
right?
because
it aids you in
human as we are,
reimagining that moment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I agree. Human as we are, our memories are not reliable. That's the thing.
Absolutely,
about us.
absolutely.
So like,
You're in law school, right?
Very unreliable.
What is that? There's a quote about that. Eyewitness accounts are very unreliable, right?
That's true. So then for me and my mom, who like taking pictures of every single thing.
Yeah.
We always feel like no, it would always be worth it. If it's funny because like if I don't have a picture of that event, it feels like it's bali noon. It feels like it didn't happen because I might forget about it and I want to look back on it. So I would rather take a picture of something. Pero in terms of writing, pag pandemic, I don't know why I was so engaged in that. Siguro kaya there was just a lot of free time and murag may buhaton noon, so it would be nice to write kunuhay. Pero now that we're out of the pandemic and I feel like I'm more busy now than I was before, I don't like to write as much. So maybe I take it as like a pastime thing. You know?
But like recording, taking pictures, writing it down, for me, it's quite unnatural, right? Because we never had a cell phone before. We never had, writing is a relatively new invention, diba? The printing press is a new invention, So we just had our memories before.
Yeah,
all we had ato rang utok. Mora na mo tigom sa atong mga nakit-an na hinumduman na nihaaguman and all of that stuff. Bag-o man ang nag-record ta, nag-picture ta and all of that stuff. So I feel like it's kind of a natural to record, but those are the technologies that are now present, so we all use it. So sa akong inahan gyud, grabe gyud kay sa ganahan og picture. Like she really loves like taking pictures all the time. In fact, she has like a what do you call that? An album of all of the three of us. We are three brothers, right? So we have like albums.
Yeah, I want to do that too. I don't
of
really
ourselves.
print out photos na, but it would be nice to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I feel like I have a digital album.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what social media is for me?
Yeah.
That's why I feel like when there's a big event, I
Yeah.
post about it because I want to look back on
Yeah.
that. Pero nice to have a physical one. I don't know if uso pa ba na. Kana mo print gid ka yung butang gid kag photo album, all mga important events in your life. Karon dili mo.
Wala na nauso pero
No, I don't think it's a thing.
But it's
but
still,
maybe I'll do that. That's
Yeah.
a good idea. Or i-incorporate nimo sa journal ang
Yeah.
photos mismo.
yeah.
We'll see.
In case you're wondering what's going on, you're listening to Jiggy Juice. Right across me is
Justine Narvios.
top of the morning. Our mixer is not working, so we can't play
all songs?
No, everything.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's fine. This is fine because we can talk all day. This is top of the morning. Maayong bungkag sa ato mga kaigsunan nga namina ug nananaw sa ato ang programa sa YouTube at Tops Media Center. Reading
you
my
for joining
2004 journal, Dear Journal, I had a chance to invest on something called Google Sounds Terrible. Pass.
Na Jolim, that's funny. If somebody actually has that in the journal entry, I'm sure they're living in regret right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. But more lagi. We're all victims of the ignorance of our time.
That's funny. If you
hindsight bias, managod nga. You know, like you sound like you're an expert now, but you didn't know. You were such an idiot before, right?
That's like, imagine a journal entry being like years ago, like for someone quite older, and they'll be like, "Dear diary, I went on a date today with this guy named Elon Musk.
Okay.
He was kind of weird, and he was a loser. So I'm not gonna talk
But he's
to
still
him again."
move forward 20 years after. He's still weird.
He's still weird. Or Elon Musk. Or like, yeah, and he introduced me to his friend Mark Zuckerberg. They're both weird, so I'm not gonna be talking to them anymore. And you look back on it. You're
Speaking
like,
of
"No!"
Elon Musk, I posted a meme earlier this morning when I overheard it in a YouTube video. I left alone the television, and Sam Harris said, "What's the use of FU money if you don't actually say FU?" You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, because FU money is just money that you can throw around just to
To shut it out lang.
just to make a point, right?
Yeah, to smite people,
and you know, he bought Twitter because he could. That's like he had FU money.
Pero, it's not really...
No, but what I'm saying is that's what FU money is for. Just the pleasure of being able to say FU.
Yeah.
So
Pero,
that's
in
Elon.
their case-
That's Elon Musk. You know.
I think Twitter now, you rebrand X naman ang name.
Yeah, but everybody
No
still
one's
calls
really-
it. Everybody still calls it Twitter. Yeah. And I think that's one of the. I wouldn't say it's the worst financial decisions of Elon Musk, but I think it helped a lot in influencing the hearts and minds of the Americans. I think Elon Musk is
Oh my God! Look at see, my best friends are here in this
it was integral, was crucial in the election of Donald Trump. So I think one of the instruments that was used was of course social media and Elon Musk controlling X before it was called Twitter.
Yeah.
is instrumental in
political also.
No, it is political. That was if there's one thing that he was looking at, he was trying to influence politics. And I don't know if you notice it, but more and more, a lot of these billionaires, not just there in the United States, but all over the world,
here in the Philippines.
also here in the Philippines, they're really now like they're more prominent now in influencing government, in influencing politics. And I think that can be both a good thing or a bad thing, right?
Yeah. Why is that? Is it because of the platforms that they engage themselves in allow them to be more to have a say rather? Or
Yeah.
I don't know. It has to do with that. The
Yeah.
platforms
Yeah.
siguro.
Yeah.
When they say something, syempre, it really impacts a lot
Yeah.
For their viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, masagul sa
Yeah,
part. Not like before nga, you only, I feel like now, because of social media, a lot of people, influencers who are not necessarily, public officers or in the government,
Mhm.
they can have a say compared to sa una.
Okay.
So I think it has to do with the platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to know where their heart is also, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you would hope that their heart is in the right place. These billionaires who are affecting elections, right? Because you hope that they want what most people want, right?
The good for everyone.
Yeah. Kaya kana magong good, it can be good to only a small group of people, right? So I think ang pinaka-importante ng good, the word good, is if you make decisions, it is good for the majority. I think that's crucial, right, Justine?
Yeah.
It has to be inclusive when there is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because if it's just good for one person,
Then it's not good at all.
that's no good at all. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it has to always do for the greater good of everyone.
Yeah, but
But then that can be
greater
subjective
good.
because then how can you say it's great? It's the greater good for. It's kind of like utilitarianism.
Yeah.
You're only focusing on what benefits the greater number.
yeah,
but then you're
just because you have a
overlooking-
name for it doesn't make it a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
So what's
What then is the greater
so
good,
utilitarianism, that's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But then
right?
a lot of
It's just a
people
thing that you have a
could-
name for, right?
But a lot of people could argue about like that the greater good for everyone could be subjective then, because then who decides mungidi ay what is
we decide.
Diba?
We decide. We made this whole thing up. So we decide.
us.
Yeah. So it's just us. So we are the arbiters of our destiny of where
I
this
like
is.
that, arbiters of our own destiny.
We decide because we made these things up. Then that's where we're at. And when you make a decision, when you say greater good, there are numbers, but 51% is a majority, right?
Metrics.
Or like they're trying to measure, let's say, well-being, right? Because I think well-being is about kanang healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
Access
There
to
are metrics to
healthcare, peace and order. So there are measures that we sometimes because scary man good to look at numbers, and that's also complicated. Some of us refuse to look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Because it's too stringent. It's too complicated. It doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When life is measured into numbers and when the important things are too kanang more limited to that.
You're making a conjecture right there. What do you mean by important things?
I feel like
Because there's always a number for important things.
yeah, like I think I'm looking into the dangers of that, but like why people refuse to look at numbers is it's because what's the word you say? It feels very limited. Is that what you meant?
Limited. Yeah. No, it feels stringent. It feels strict. Because one, you're one person. We're two people in this room. We're two, right? And that's it. And that's true. And that's boring. And so what? You know what I mean? Like I would like to imagine a room full of people. You know what I mean? It's too. What's my tawag na eh? I think the word is boring, man. Like numbers are for me
You mean
boring.
it's not kind of representative of a whole?
No, it's not.
because
It's not representative of how you feel. It's just a fact, and facts are boring.
Yeah.
Facts are boring. Facts are uninspiring for most of us, right?
So that's why people refuse to look at the numbers.
Yeah, we refuse to look at the numbers.
Mm.
Yeah. And for example, kanalang air flight, for example, the numbers say that it's safer to fly than to drive, right? You're more likely to be in an accident on the road
When you're driving,
and
rather than when you're in the air.
in the air, right?
Flying.
But with all of these airplane crashes of late, right? There's so many of those recently in Korea, right? And we're all scared. You know what I mean? Like we're all scared now to
People
fly.
paranoid to fly.
Because that's it inspires us to feel something if it's something as tragic as that, and you see it graphically in a video, for example, then we remember that, and then we
Traumatic.
Yeah, in a sense, so somebody who's seen those images would probably think to themselves, I'm never gonna fly again, or maybe I'm not gonna fly again, or at least not this year, whatever, right? So that's just refusing to look at the numbers, because we're emotional beings, diba? We are run by our emotions, right?
Oh, so the emotions then take over the more logical side of like
the logic of
numbers don't lie, supposedly. And I think my dad, he worked in the BPO industry.
Hi, Jed. How is he? By the way,
He's great,
like
resting.
after the New Year, because I know
Nag-duty sila sa brother.
after welcoming 2025,
Like
he had to
Revo duty.
do Revo duty.
Yeah,
So-
what they do is it's called like status alpha. It's when you
What status alpha?
Yeah, it means
What is status alpha? That sounds very, very deep.
Yeah, it means
What is that?
It's basically when responders are on standby.
Okay.
For any, so they can wait anywhere.
Okay.
But they're on standby. They're monitoring the airwaves. They're, kanang, helping with traffic's airways. And
Okay.
then they're waiting if na mga emergencies na report or
Okay.
sila makadawat sila emergency, then if that's near to them, then they respond.
Okay.
So pag New Year's, there are so many accidents that happen during the holiday season. So we predicted that sa Revo nga daghan siguro maka-aksidente. To be honest, I didn't actually ask them pa. It has a lot, even now, employee performance has a lot to do with metrics, and they're super strict about that. And so, like, when you say that people refuse to look at the numbers and why numbers are so important, I remembered my dad, because he's always like, the numbers don't lie.
Okay.
Like, it's representative of something bigger. It's representative of behavior, of performance.
Okay.
And so, like, and I think it follows through with a lot of things in life.
Okay. Hold on, continue.
Like when my dad was in school, when he was still a student, he would mention how your measure of your performance, if you're better than someone else, would really be to look at grades. Like, you'll never know where you are at. You'll never know if you're doing well in school if you don't look at your grades. So, yeah, numbers don't lie, and we need to look into numbers, kid.
Yeah.
Like, usahay makaingon ka
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cliche, right?
Yeah, like pagutanon ka, how's school? Oh, I think I'm okay. Like, so are you doing good? I guess so. And then a follow-up question ka, and they'd be like, how do you know you're doing good or not?
Okay.
Like, oh, I just feel like I'm doing good. Like,
Okay.
then how are your test grades, diba? So then that's the metric you look at, your performance, your
Okay.
grades. Because then you won't know how well you're doing if you don't look at the numbers.
Okay.
And that's also in a negative point of view in life. Sometimes people associate living good with the amount of money you earn, diba?
Okay.
Another thing about numbers, like as if
Mhm.
the quality of your life is solely defined by how much you earn. So, yeah, numbers are all around us and they don't lie, but at the same time, I don't also consider them as the whole truth.
Yeah, that's the thing with the word. For me lang, the word truth. Truth, Mangod, is like a box, right?
Okay.
When you see a something as a truth, you miss out on
Everything outside.
everything else, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So truth is difficult and takes a lot of hard work. And
It has to be balanced out with reality. That's the thing about truth.
well,
It's rooted on
truth
reality.
Truth is reality, of course, but like there are instruments that we as a species have already discovered, like science, for example. That's an instrument to discover truth, right? So there's ways to measure it. Like math, for example, measures how heavy you are, the distance between here and let's just say Mars, for example, we have a approximation of that. It's not the full truth, because, what do you mean when you say that, let's just say the distance between this point and that point is 1 million miles, right? Right? Like what if it moves further? It's no longer 1 million. It's 1,000,001 mile or whatever. Right? So it's just so we have an approximation of the truth.
More or less.
More or less, this is what is true, right? But it's not 100% true. But we're getting closer to it. So I think that's what we are. The journey of a human being, for me, is a journey towards
the truth.
Whatever is
Uncovering.
the closest to what is true. And I think it's also a decision that a person makes, right? A decision na nimo nga ganahan ka na, kaya some people would rather live in La La Land, for example, right? You know what I mean?
In a world of fantasy.
Yeah, they want to live
In a world.
of fables, right? They want to live in stories.
Pure imagination.
They want to live in a world of pure imagination that has no truth backing, that has no scientific backing. If they want to decide in that kind of life and that works for them, well and good, right? That it is a kind of decision that people make, and I think that's that's my relationship with the truth.
From what you mentioned, we need to have the right amount of delusion. It's important to have that, guys.
Useful delusions.
There's such thing as useful delusion. Mao na siya ang-
Absolutely.
That's what ang mga ambisyosa.
Okay.
That's what they have. Kana bitang, you're grounded in reality, but you're also hopeful for something else. But you need to have a balance of both. Because I agree with Jiggy when he says some people rather live in La La Land. Kana bitang, you have to draw the line between what's real and what you wish is real also. So
What's real
I tend to be a
and
bit,
what you wish is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tend to be, I would say sometimes that's a defense mechanism, good when you refuse to accept the truth.
Yeah.
Kind of hopeful rakay ka that
Yeah.
that's what they call as kanang toxic like toxic positivity, for example. And
Okay.
that's over the years people on the internet have been bashing that the common Filipino trait of being resilient. Kana bitang you're resilient after an adversity, you're like, oh, it's okay, makabangon na lang kita.
Mhm.
So, in a sense,
That's a
that's
helpful-
also being delusional.
That's a helpful delusion, right?
It's a helpful
Yeah.
delusion, but it becomes unhelpful when you use it as an excuse for everything na. For
Mhm.
incompetence, to tolerate anything.
Mhm.
Kanang makaingon ka, sige na lang, kaya
Okay.
makabangon naman tayo, nga na
Mhm.
ba? So again, there needs to be a balance, and truth is also rooted in reality, but it has
Yeah.
to do with helpful
Yeah.
delusion. Top of the morning, Zyrek Leona.
Yeah.
Maadjong top of the morning, Jiggy and Justine. Very profound in yung topic karon na minaw, mi samtang ga-drive ko
Yes.
ako wife. Happy New Year to
Yes,
you.
I think our conversation today, Justine, is just intoxicating.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would do anything for you. I'd steal or buy anything for you that I could afford. Drunk on your love. I crash anywhere with you. Do all the things you said we do. I'm drunk on your love. High on your love. I could take anything for you. I'd lose and find anything for you. I'm drunk on your love. Drunk on your
It can't be done, Justine. We can talk all day.
No, kaya lagi.
But I can't talk all day by myself, though. That's my problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. You will have to have a.
I have to have like a stimuli, like somebody on the other side to bounce off. What happened to what's his face, by the way? See,
Oh, CC Raj?
yeah, I forgot to respond to
Yeah,
him. But
yeah, me too. I'll check his messages.
respond. I forgot to respond to him. But I was gonna say, okay, fine, whatever. Because he disappeared, right? And I think something happened, like his aunt arrived or something.
Ah, okay. I'll message him basta.
This is Keturalba.
Yeah. Her music does sound like something people in Europe would like. My classmates are talking about the enrollment. Like, yeah, where are you guys going? can imagine her performing this. It's great.
Ma'am Shagun, you know what's so great about her performance also? She plays the piano and then she also like a very good pianist.
Ooh.
I like it when the performer looks like he's going to destroy the piano when they perform it. You know, I love it. I just fucking love it. I don't get what the sound is coming out, but when you look like you're about to destroy the piano, you're doing something. You're doing
So
something
if you're too
special.
calm, alright, you're not enough. You have to be more passionate.
Destroy the damn piano, girl.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Magandang araw sa'yo.
Magandang araw din. Rin. I don't know. Which one of those?
One of those.
One of those.
You are alive. What are you going to do about it? 105.1 TMC, the best of us. Year and the new you, with open arms and the promise for more local music on 105.1 TMC.
Ha 136. The second day of
2025. January 2, 2025. Of course, we're all looking forward to Sinulog. That's going to be a lot of fun too. Back to its original venue, original location. It is now 11:37. Good morning.
You made it to 2025. You are alive. What are you going to do about it? 105.1 TMC, the best of us.
They're passing by today from Central.
That?
My grandma's gonna argue me here.
Oh, okay. Where are they going?
They
Wait,
went,
what?
no, they went to Asturias, but they'll...
Came from?
Yeah, came from Asturias. Coming from IFV.
TMC range and move on. Atong tak na karon 11:39.
Mayang bungkag ni mo dia FV.
Hi, FV.
Cebu-based Iliganon artist who makes chill music. He's recommending to us a song called what is this? One Floor, Do My Thing. tell you what, FV, I'm talking to somebody here on Tops Media Center, our social media, our Facebook chat group. Why don't you email me the song? Okay?
Yeah.
Jiggy at topsmediacenter.com. In fact, kamong naminaw diya karong lawa, karong buntaga, i-email na ko kung naamoy kanta nga ganahan ninyo, ipatokar nato dire. We will put our heads together, Justine, myself, and Kuya Magic, and Ron, and Melchor, and Baul, and Nilo, and everyone here will see what we can do, if we can play your song. But I already heard the song on YouTube, but I want to get the actual copy. So FV, if you'll email it to me now at that email address, we can probably play it this morning before the day ends, okay? So FV is recommending to be a song, One Floor by... which one is a band here? I think, or the artist. It's One Floor, right? And the song is called Do My Thing. One Floor. One floor. One floor.
Yeah.
Osaka floor.
Okay.
Yes, and I think and I think that's one of my promises for 2025 is to have more new local music. Mo na tong promise atong mga tigpaminaw, di ba?
Yeah. So guys, there's so many good talents in and outside of Cebu. A lot of artists just waiting for a platform for the songs to be played.
Okay.
This is it, guys.
Maybe
over the course of several years, I've known so many artists who are like, where can I have my song played? Where can I have a song played? It's been hard for them to release music. Yeah. But now TMC is here for you guys. Top of the Morning's here. If you got any songs, send them over to Jiggy's email. Okay. And we'd love to even have you here at the studio to interview you, to help you promote your music. So let's go.
Maybe One Floor is FV. Maybe that's you, right? FV, is that you?
Is that you?
Ingon si Joey Longa, would you rather live in the real world where land is inhospitable and you have to fight the machines, or live a comfortable pedestrian life inside the Matrix? Whoa. Because now
I'm Delulu, so I'll go with the Matrix.
Yeah, now speaking of Delulu, because we were talking about Delulu, right?
Helpful delusions.
Di ba na may theory na we are just in a simulation, di ba?
Yeah.
We are just in a simulation.
Theory?
It's a theory. We're in a simulation, and that everything that we're looking at are just like approximations of
computer generated, and everything. You know, what's real isn't actually real because it's reality that's faked for us
by some great machine or some godlike figure, right?
Yeah.
The thing with stuff like that, just like, you know, the great big questions, it's unproved. You can't prove that exists, and we are in a simulation. That's unprovable.
For now.
Yeah, for now. And you know, there are a lot of things, great claims of humanity that are unprovable. You can't prove this. You can't prove that. Kana siyang we're in a simulation. It's also not provable. There's no countervailing evidence against it.
Yeah.
Because this could be, you know, our ability to feel.
We never know.
Our ability to feel this table is also, in that theory, a simulation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what is life really? What is real? So if I were to answer the question of Joel Lim,
what is real? That's actually a really good question. Unsa man ang kamatuoran? Unsa man ang
what is real? Not what is the truth, but what is real?
So unsa man English ang real?
Tinuod?
Huh?
No, that's truth also.
Yeah.
But if I were to answer Joel Lim's question, I'd live a comfortable pedestrian life na lang inside the Matrix. But then, is life really purposeful when it's in the Matrix? I don't know. But I choose to stay with my delusions. So, yeah. I'll go with the second option.
Which is?
To live life comfortably as a pedestrian inside the Matrix. I actually haven't watched that film, but guys, I still have to watch it.
It's too complicated. It's very complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I like Keanu Reeves, so I'll probably watch it for him. But,
yeah. But, no, what he meant by pedestrian is like an ordinary life. That's what he meant by that when he used that word. Comfortable pedestrian inside the Matrix. So you know, I remember before declaring this to the world, and I kind of still believe in it, but not 100%. I used to think, this was back in my high school and college days, I thought to myself, one of my greatest fears is to live an ordinary life. That's the way I thought back then.
Yeah.
One of my greatest fears. I'm analyzing the thought now. And what does that even mean? what does ordinary mean? Isn't everything extraordinary? Isn't just being alive extraordinary? You know, that's my kind of shift in thinking. One of my greatest fears is living an ordinary life, but just being alive is already extraordinary in and of itself, right?
Yeah, because then ordinary is very subjective. What do you mean by ordinary?
Yeah.
Something that's ordinary to you
For
is
me,
someone's answered prayer.
For me, ordinary is not subjective. I think everything is extraordinary using the right frame of mind, looking at it properly, correctly. I think because again, the beginning, like I said before, the beginning of luck is the luck of being born, right? What you do with that luck is up to you, right? So, kind of ordinary is just you're suffering from a lack of imagination. So that's what I was when I was a kid. I was suffering from a lack of imagination because my greatest fear was to live an ordinary life. But what am I talking about? What are you talking about, Jiggy? Or what are you talking about, Raymond? At that time when I thought those thoughts, I was suffering from a lack of imagination. Yeah, because everything is just extraordinary. Just being here with you, 2,000 feet closer to heaven, is extraordinary. Can you imagine the engineering feat that had to be accomplished to be able to build this whole structure that it tops, right?
I think even just the fact that all the resources that you had to take to get up here, the fact that you were permitted to wake up.
Yeah, exactly. Permitted.
Is extraordinary.
You got lucky.
Itself, yeah.
One
And
more day.
I oftentimes overlook that. Like I'll admit that there are times that you're so busy with thinking about what you have to do with the day throughout the day.
Okay.
Now you forget to look at the little details that make.
What happened to my voice?
Whoa, is mine?
Justin!
Is it work on mine or on yours? Yeah. Okay, I think on yours.
I don't know how to make it work on yours.
Yeah. But yeah, everything is extraordinary.
I think so. I think so. And also everything is new. It's also just me and you suffering from a lack of imagination.
Lack of pure imagination.
There has never been a moment like this ever in the history of recorded time. Like this moment right now is unique.
Yeah.
There's
every day.
There's no January 2, 2025 to look back to. This is brand new.
Exactly.
Right?
I forget that sometimes.
Yeah, we forget that all the time. You know, we walk around thinking everything's the same.
Yeah.
Blah. But no, it's not. Like everything's like so darn new, and you're not the same person that you were before.
Yeah.
Too. You know, and your thoughts, your ideas, is changing.
There's this quote that Timothy Chalamet says.
Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah.
You're quoting Timothy Chalamet now?
Yeah.
Why Timothy?
No, but he quoted it from somewhere else. He quoted
okay.
it from another artist or I
Okay.
think a philosopher. I don't know.
Okay. What
But
did,
he said
what did Timothy say?
It was something like, correct me if I'm right, it was something like, you are the captain of your own fate, Dao. But you have to remember that you can be the ana, you can be the ana, and you can be the captain of your own faith, but you have to remember that life is coming from you rather than at you.
Life is coming
From you rather than at you.
What does that mean?
So sometimes when we live our life through routine and when we're focused so much on, like, we're not grateful, okay, it feels like life is coming at us, meaning we are all like, we're just playing a role in this and we're floating by, like letting everything pass us by.
Okay, like you're a spectator?
Yeah,
You're like,
life is coming at you. Murag, wakay control ka. It's like, it's something that you're just a part of.
Okay.
But when you think about life coming from you,
Okay.
then it's very empowering in such a way that makes you think that everything that happens to you is actually a manifestation of what you want, or rather, every good or bad thing comes from you, and that you have more control over your life than you
But
think.
do you believe in that?
I do.
Everything good or bad comes from you?
Yeah, I believe to a certain extent that
Yeah.
that if it is like we are like 80%
80%.
what we do and 20% circumstance.
Where did that come from? Where did those mathematical figures come from?
Like, I would rather...
You just made that up too,
yeah,
right?
I made it up right now. Like, I would rather look at life as something that's...
See, so those are your wishes.
Yeah.
You would rather look at life.
Rather lang.
This is what... We have to be able to understand that what we wish for doesn't make it true, right?
Yeah.
What we wish to be true is not necessarily true. That's why we have to understand our wishes, our heart's desires. What does our heart want to believe? What does our heart want to be true?
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it true. You just want it to be true, right?
Yeah, but
right?
if in the pretense of what Timothy Chalamet says, life is coming from you rather than at you.
Okay.
I really believe in that. Okay, I also refuse to think that like I'm just a spectator in all of this
Okay.
and that everything it's just like a wave that I have to ride. Kaya bitang murag, I'm just going through the motions of life
Okay.
as
So you feel like you have agency. Like
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
for sure.
control.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
So that's one of the great delulus of life.
Oh yeah.
Right? The delusion of control, right?
Yeah. The delulu of control.
The delusion of control.
Which is a good kind of
delusion.
delulu.
Yeah.
Woo! There's been so much things we've talked about. I think those are the things you need to reflect on, Manggod, from the past year. Ba?
That's like me on a Tuesday.
That's Jiggy every day with his morning coffee.
That's Jiggy. That's me, like all the time. Like I'm always looking at life from that angle, like from
Good.
from
That's what makes it worth living for me. Ang introspection is very important.
Yeah, but it sometimes like when I have like mundane conversations, it turns philosophical real quick. You know what I mean? You know, somebody talks about, let's just say, the weather's good, it's so beautiful and all that stuff, and I go like something like, weather is one of the things we can't control, like many things. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I am that idiot.
No.
No, seriously, man.
That's not an idiotic thing.
I hate that about me when I try. And it's also kind of a pretension. Grabe kay ko sana maka-intellectualize things, but because I am not a smart person. Okay, I am by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think I'm a smart person, but I try to bring the conversation into an intellectual level, which I have no idea where I'm going. Where the hell am I going with this?
You know what? I feel like that's what makes you someone who's you're Jiggy Pilosopo because of that. There's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people who are like that now. They can draw a lot of philosophical ideas out of like everyday things.
Yeah.
That's a skill. That's a talent.
It's not a skill.
It is a skill because you look through life through many different lenses.
Yeah, okay.
Some people, when something happens to them, they explain it through like science.
Okay.
But there are also some people like you that would explain it via would try to grasp or who got something philosophical from that.
Yeah.
Like somebody could literally be like, "Oh, I had a bad day today,"
Yeah.
and then being as creative as you are, you could be like, "But then, what truly is bad? Like,
I
what is
remember
the perception of bad though? Maybe it's just a matter of perception."
I remember having a conversation over dinner a few nights ago, and we were talking. They were like she was like talking in this very hot, like loud voice. You know what I mean? And I went like, so I don't know what the hell she was talking about, right? But what I picked up was, you know what? The loudness of your voice when you talk is a kind of confidence, right? And I noticed like certain schools, certain universities in Cebu, in Manila, and abroad, there's a certain school, and you expect them to sound a certain way, right?
Oh, okay.
Like maybe like the loudness of their voice, and I think it is a kind of confidence when you speak loud. I'm not talking about screaming. I'm talking about with confidence, with conviction, right? There is a kind of way of speaking that says I know what I'm talking about. I'm confident, and I think if you're educated in a certain way, you're confident about what you're talking about because you learn this and you know this to be true. Mo na siyang dako kag tingog, right? But on the other side also, imagine this conversation. I didn't even listen to what the person was talking about. So, and then I also went on a tangent. Nga kung loud ka, kung educated ka, kung I don't mean loud in a bad way. If you sound confident and speak loudly at a high volume lang, not loud lang, the opposite side of the
other
spectrum
side of that
is also when you're not very well educated, meaning to say formally in a school,
Okay,
and
you're obnoxious.
and you don't you don't know
Social cues.
You don't know exactly this to be true or not. Ignorante ka ba? when you come to a conclusion that something is true,
It
dako
sounds
sa
like
kag tingog sad. Because kuha man kay kalibutan, murag you don't know what you're talking about, but you're confident that this is it because you don't know the countervailing evidence, you don't know the proof nga di natin tinuod ay. Pero kuha man kay edukasyon, so confidence aga. So it's just funny how it works like that. Bang lack of education makes you confident, and also too much education also makes you confident. It's just
I wouldn't
weird.
I wouldn't attribute that to education. I think it has to do with we just associated that with education because there are certain social norms that are reinforced depending on the kind of upbringing you have, and it's expected that when you are well educated, that the social norms reinforced to you are like the right ones, and then when you're not, that's not priority man in schools that don't offer the best education, I would say, or the prime education.
Okay.
Social norms are not the priority. The priority is to pass, to get good grades. So where I think where I'm going with this is it's not about how educated you are, if you're well educated or not. It has to do with what is your grasp magid of social norms. Kay kanang pagka-ignorante when you don't know a certain topic and you speak with so much conviction
because you don't know any better. Okay.
You don't understand that the norm is supposedly if you're not sure of something, or in general your manner of speaking should not come off as hambugiro. Even if you're confident and you know about a certain topic, like you know all the facts.
You think you know a certain topic. Okay.
Like you think you know all the certain facts. You'd still come off as ignorante man or hambugiro if the way that you present it is kanang pagkadako ni mugtingog nga murag as if you know it all. So it's not with how much you know about the topic, because you can know everything and nothing about something but still sound humble.
Okay.
So the loudness of your voice, the way you kanang, and I think it's not ang pagka-ignorante ba is not attributed to like, or that way of talking is not attributed to education, rather it's like what's your idea magid of the social cues?
The social cues.
Yeah.
But kanang social cues that will also vary from place to place,
exactly.
Diba? Kabantay ka ng mga, let's just say, mga Western people, right? You notice when they speak, they're
very animated,
very confident, diba?
Confident.
When you say kita mga Pilipino, mga Cebuano, kasugat o ganing stranger, morning sir, morning ma'am, di morning sir, morning ma'am, di murag magduko-duko, diba? Murag morning sir, murag may pagwanan to ni mo gisulti. Pero ang mga Amerikano, especially, makasugat ka, good morning! You know, good morning. As if you know them, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not complaining. I'm just showing you ba nga kanang imuhang gisulti na social norm, maglahi-lahi na siya. Depende sa imong kastorya. For example, imong Amerikano nga amigo, kikstorya nimo sa restaurant, pag human, ang iyang tingog, mura siya gasagit o para iyang pagtuo, normal. Pareha na nako. Ako, because I've spoken in front of the microphone more than I've spoken to
the actual people
without microphones. Ang tendency yun, which I really try to make an effort to stop or to control, is mura kong dako jug tingog ba in a place. But again, ang kanang social norm will vary from person to person.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Possibly po, like my dad, right? And like most elderlies, their hearing is
so
bad na, diba?
You have to
diba? So
speak louder.
Magsagit yun sila, diba? Ako sad, aligri kay ko sanan, Justin, kay ako, taga-radio ko, taga-media ko, so I'm expected to project my voice. Ang ako sang parents, they're also aging, so I have to project my voice
all the more.
So mura na ako gasagit. So mo nang daghan kayo mga mo complain nga kaila na kong gasagit mo. So, that's just me whispering, man.
Right. I know what you mean. Has to do with your upbringing, the people you're talking to, and also your culture.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I did notice that also there are some cultures that it's more respectful. And it's the right way to speak is kanang mas mainhin ka. And then there are some that it's also considered rude, and you have to be very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So it would really depend.
It's depend, ba?
Yeah, that's right. It's depend.
It's depend. So si FV di ay ugma pa sa dili pa nimo email karon FV. Sige, ugma na lang ko ito kanimo. Give me more information about who this one floor guy is.
Yeah, include it in the email.
Yeah. Nakanong nga sa background to Justin wala.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
Senyor!
So, unsa may resulta sa inyong conversation sa inyong classmate? Kasi ka magpa-enroll
Wala pa. They're saying we'll just wait for updates still from our class representative.
Possibly nga kaning wa mo'y klase forever. Posible?
I don't think so.
Posible siguro. Kapoy na kayo. Kapoy na may tudlo ninyo mo, Justin. Himuha na ka ng abogado karon dayon. Ha? Pwede.
Unfortunately.
Pwede po, di ba?
Yeah. Well, right now we're waiting for updates pa.
Okay.
So we'll see.
You're talking about the USC law, right?
Yeah.
So, kapag akong law student ko, na ako sa law office, or not law office, but sa law department sa USC. So, tingin kung ano sa inyong enrollment,
wala pa gani.
Pwede ko alam, March na lang mo. March na lang, para
Educated ka makuman.
magkapahaway si Justin. Skip lang si Justin ng 2 months. I-advance na siya ng 2 months para human siya na yun, okay?
They'll be like, yeah, but the question is,
what is that?
pasar ba na siya? Oo, na diha.
Gulagod ka na mong, parang ako, like, I don't know about law, but most of the education that we receive, we get from colleges is just developed for us to pass the board exams, kind of the final exams, but the real education happens when you graduate. I think
that's true. Practice itself. Yeah.
The practice itself will. So kani mga ideas nimo nga nakita nimo na pasahan nimo dunggan nimo sa imong mga maestro. They're really nothing, but there's something, but magamit lang siya kung makasugat ka ana in the future while you're in your practice. So ma-reinforce and then you learn exactly what the lawyer or the whatever is talking about, right? So anyway,
that's true. Practice itself.
Practice lang yun. Kayod lang yun.
Kayod lang yun, guys.
Mo na siya. That's it for us. Daghang salamat sa inyong pagpaminaw sa amuang mumbling
of 2025, right?
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. And thank you to all who joined us also on Tops Media Center on YouTube.
Yes, daghang salamat,
sent
guys.
in their mga sentiments, apil-apil sa conversation.
Yeah.
Let's do more of that for tomorrow, the last day of the week.
The last day of the week. So, mga last, mga first, mga whatever, man.
Yeah. First and last.
Yes. So, again, our promise for this year is we're going to play more new local music.
Exactly.
And we're not going to be able to do it ourselves, right, Justin?
No.
Kaya mahimo ani puro na Justin Narbius o JD Narbius ang tukar sa 105, di ba?
We need help in sourcing, guys.
We
So if
don't-
there are any artists out there,
Dili TMC atawag ni JMC na ni siya, di ba?
JMC.
O di mahimo. So tabangi gid mi ni Justin that email us at jiggy@topsmediacenter.com. Send us all of your new songs for 2025 because we promise to make you guys big stars, hopefully.
Exactly.
Right? That's the goal, is to make to give you a platform to perform.
Exactly.
Literally, you can perform here at Tops.
At Tops.
Or we can play your songs at Tops Media Center. Justine, I know you have to go.
not yet pa.
Not yet pa.
In a bit.
Okay, in a bit. So, Joel Lim, daghang salamat sa imong pagpaminaw.
Thank you, Joe Lim. Thank you so much, FV. Zyric Leona.
Okay.
Who else? I can't scroll up, but all the other people who joined us in the chat at Tops Media Center.
Ramil Cabuenas,
Yes.
Janro, and the rest of the guys. Thank you so much. You know, I stumbled upon this next song, which is a beautiful song. It's called A Day in Marigondon. You know what Marigondon is?
Yeah, Lapu-Lapu.
Lapu-Lapu, right? It's a nice little song. I want you to listen to this and tell me what you
Okay.
feel, okay? That's it for us. Thank you so much for listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And my name is Justine Narvius. Bye, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Who's the artist? Wala name?
Kalimutas pa.
A Day in Marigundo. That's nice. Bye, guys. Take care mo.
Kuha na ka dali nila?
Yeah, in a few minutes.
Okay.
So waiting for the podcast. I'll just wait here.
Mali ba yun ang mga adlaw nila?